covered for what they need. With regard to COVID, for example, in the moment of COVID, that any costs relating to COVID are in fact free. The federal government guarantees be taken care of. One of the reasons why people aren't going in and getting tested is they're afraid of the bill they're going to receive. They're afraid of what's going to happen. And with your mom, it's a different, multiple myeloma is a difficult disease to care for. And that's why one of the things I've done, well, anyway, I'm going on too much about cancer. I apologize. But one of the things that I strongly believe is we have to be in a position where we provide for all the research and all the effort to deal with cancer. And look, we can beat this disease, but we have to invest significant amounts of money, billions of dollars to do it. And it can be done. It can be done.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more questions from our audience for former Vice President Joe Biden. Thanks.
Honor, country.
The first presidential debate. Watch it live on CNN. Special coverage Tuesday, September 29th.
Top critics rave. Antebellum is mind-blowing. It's
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And it's a lot of wages are involved in that. But beyond that, we can also get people working now, capping the wells that are left uncapped right now.
Jane is about to buy her first home, and with a verified approval from
and especially concerned.
There are 38,000 fewer to fundamentally change the criminal justice system, including making sure at you like I know.
Good evening, Vice President Biden, Anderson. As mentioned, as retired police chief, I am very concerned about the violence taking place in our cities across this country, and especially concerned about the lack of respect shown towards law enforcement officers and military. Can you tell us what your plan is for addressing this situation and bringing our nation back together, sir?
First of all, protesting is one thing. A right to speak is one thing. Violence of any kind, no matter who it is coming from, is wrong, and people should be held accountable. Burning down automobile lots, smashing windows, setting buildings on fire.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, Let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. while the storm clouds gather far across the sea. Let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Welcome everyone to the live stream. Are we live? We've been live for like 2 hours. Hold on. Is the mic live? Yes, it is. Is he live? Let me test. He is not live. One moment. Let's see what I can do here. I've got to adjust a couple of things. I've had you guys listening to music for the last 14 hours. You're still here. Hold on. Is he live? There he is. I got the mic touch there in case Producer Rich is in the audience. He always walks up and needlessly adjusts the mic. I don't know why. I know why. It's a control issue. Here it is. He's going to walk up and he's going to touch the mic and just leave it right where it is. I don't know why. I will never understand why. He's really soft. Let me bring up his audio. I can do that even more. Give me a second.
Thank you very much. That is a beautiful sight right behind me, isn't it? That's a beautiful sight. Thank you very much.
Oh, too loud.
And a very big hello, Wisconsin. We've been very good together. And I'm thrilled to be with thousands of loyal, hardworking American patriots. 47 days from now, we're going to win Wisconsin, and we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. This is the most important election in the history of our country. I feel that way so strongly, so do you. Joe Biden devoted his entire career to offshoring Wisconsin jobs, outsourcing your factories, throwing open your borders, dragging us into endless, ridiculous foreign wars, and surrendering your children's future to China. You know what he's been doing? I just see he's up there tonight getting softball questions from Anderson Cooper. They don't ask me questions like that.
It's a town hall. It's the people asking the questions.
And the audience isn't quite like this. Do you see what his audience? They've got cars. They have like cars in a bucket. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Cars are
and
weird?
CNN is going, oh, this is so beautiful. It's not beautiful. They have cars in a parking lot.
What's wrong with cars?
What a deal, I'll tell you. What a deal. Biden supported every disastrous global sellout for half a century, including in NAFTA, China. You take a look at China's entry into the World Trade Organization and TPP. He supported them all. Biden surrendered your jobs to China, and you know that. I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for that. It was one of the big things, one of the big reasons I decided to say to my great wife, our First Lady, let's go have some fun. Let's go have some fun. And she's done a great job and very popular, and the family is all over the place, all over the country. But unlike Joe, who let you down when he never even came back to Milwaukee to apologize or just to pay respects, I came to Wisconsin, and I've been here a lot since we started this, a lot.
To apologize?
And you've been a tremendous beneficiary of what I've done, and I have
Why would he come to Wisconsin and apologize?
You've supported me, and we've had great victories together, all victories. So I want to thank you.
Hi, guys.
But now, Biden wants to surrender our country to the violent left-wing mob. You see what's happening. If Biden wins...
Okay, we got going here. So that is President Trump. And I'm your Kevinly father, Kevin Williams, and this is the live stream. We got going a little early today so that you people could be in the chat room. You people. He just called us you people. He's a racist. And this is what we do. We chat truth to power. So a lot of us were just watching the Biden town hall, and he did get a couple of hard questions. One of them from a farmer, a potato farmer, who was very anti-regulation and thought that Biden... I'll play it later. I think I have it recorded. Hold on. I got to adjust things around here. It is hot today here. It was 95 degrees earlier. I don't know what it is now, and I don't care to know. So if you'd like to come along and be in the chat, you can certainly do that. You don't have to. You can just watch, which is great. The best place to chat is in your living room. Just, a couch, a chair. But if you want to chat in here, go to youtube.com/KevinlyFather. You can also chat on the Twitch if you want to swear. There's nobody moderating in Twitch. And they let you say whatever you want because it's for the kids. And where else? Twitter. You can go on Twitter and you can chat. In Facebook, you can leave comments and they go into the chat over there. But you can't see what people are writing back. So you have to watch that screen over there. The best way to do it is what I've been told is watch it on your big screen TV. If you get the YouTube app on your smart TV or your Roku or your Apple TV or your Firebox or whatever you got, and then just be on your phone. You can chat with your phone while the things are happening on the TV up there. That is what they say. Hello, Christopher Ryan. Okay, Christopher Ryan is finally here, guys, so now we can go. Christopher, we've been waiting for you for 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 31 seconds. About damn time. Here we go.
Wins. Very simple. China wins. If Biden wins, the mob wins. If Biden wins, the rioters, anarchists, arsonists, and flag burners, they win. And we're not into flag burners. We don't like flag burners.
We're into flag humpers.
I'd like to say pass a law, 1 year in jail, you start burning flags, we put you in jail for a year. We should do that.
That law would be
They would
unconstitutional.
have done that. It's a different world, I guess, but it's sort of coming back to the way we have to have it.
Put him- yeah, let's
because
put him
we're
there.
for law
There
and
we go.
order. They
Look at
say
that.
don't use
That's
that
the
term.
rule
It's
of
too
thirds.
tough. No,
Oh,
everybody
wait,
wants
that way.
law and order. Minorities want law and order. Everybody wants law and order. They
I
have.
like how he says minorities with an A. Minorities. What about womanorities, too? Nobody talks about them because they're in a majority. That's why. 53% women. That's what I won.
To have it. I'm running for the re-election, and a very important re-election, to bring jobs and factories back, and that's a continuation because I don't know if you know it, the single greatest year Wisconsin has ever had was last year.
In terms of...
The second best year that Wisconsin has ever had was the year before.
In terms of...
And guess what the third was the year before that? And you're going to have your best year economically next year. It's all heading in that direction.
In terms of...
Despite the pandemic
What's the
given to
grading
us
scale?
by China. But we want to put the violent criminals behind bars, and we have to ensure the future belongs to America.
So, we'll talk about his White History celebration earlier today. We'll talk about that later. I didn't watch the whole thing, but he was really low energy. And so far tonight, he's really low energy. And he's going to the teleprompters a lot for early in his speech. In terms of Lizzie and David, you both think alike. Great minds think alike. And so do you guys. So that's nice.
America, not to China, not to other very terrible forces out there, because if we win, very simply, America wins, and that's what we want. We want this great country to win. Over the last 3.5 years...
I don't know about that, because last time America voted for Hillary, and he's president, so I'm not sure that tracks.
We've secured America's borders, fixed the disastrous trade deals. They have been the worst ever. It was not even, when I looked at these, I studied them,
Yeah?
and I used to talk about
Studied
them. They
them.
had to be bad. When I started studying, I said, who are the people that made these deals? Grossly incompetent people. Brought back our manufacturing jobs, rebuilt the awesome power of the U.S. military, and
Yeah.
obliterated the ISIS caliphate. We obliterated it.
And you destroyed it, too.
Obama was
completely
not
removed
able
it.
to do it. He wasn't able to come close. It was just announced that in 2019, before the virus came in from China, we grew median income by a record of $4,400 in just 1 year, achieving the highest median income in U.S. history. That's in the history of our country.
It's like 1,700, not the 4,000. But anyway, yeah, if you're making $4,000 a year more, that's $16,000 now more than you were in 2016. Vote for Trump. He's your guy. I'm not.
In the first 3 years, we lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty, the largest poverty reduction of any president in the history of our country. That's not bad.
And when you change the rules on what's called poverty,
And I didn't even make these numbers up. These are numbers that
you didn't.
they sound
Sometimes you do.
good to me. We built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
That's made
This
up.
is the greatest economy in the history of the world. Then the virus came in. We closed.
Yeah, so in Bob Woodward's book, there's actually a section in there, and he's talking to Jared Woodward, to Jared Kushner, and Kushner says, well, no, we lie about it being the greatest economy in the world, because then all the fact checkers, all the Poindexters, nitpick it and say, oh, no, it's not. It's look at this and the GDP, 2.3 and 5.7 in 1957. Blah, 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 blah. And the general public just looks at it and says, no, but look, it's really good. So why are you nitpicking it like that? You know, who cares about truth, really? So they get it out there. So you're going to have X percentage that believe it and another X percentage that are like, oh, you're just a numbers Nazi. That's what you are. That's my Biden impression. You're a numbers Nazi. It's pretty good, right?
Closed it down. We saved millions and millions
I don't
of lives.
like it.
Maybe 2.5 million, 2 million, 3 million.
I don't even remember what that is. That Schumer? I don't remember who that was. That was Trump's impression. I think his impersonation, if you were, of Schumer. I think from the other night. You people actually pay more attention to what I do than I do. So let me know.
A number that would not be sustainable, would not be acceptable, a horrible
Schumer.
number. There shouldn't have been one person that died. It should have been stopped at China. They stopped it for their country, but it came out to us, to Europe, to the rest of the world, 188 countries. We will deliver a safe and effective vaccine.
It's my impression of his impression of Schumer. Uh-oh, I killed it. We'll be back. There we go.
End of the year, and it could be very, very soon. You've been seeing what's going. Could be very, very soon. Could be. It's amazing how all of a sudden they hate the vaccine.
Nope.
When they thought it couldn't be done, they said, well, you guys got to get a vaccine. And then all of a sudden.
Well, you guys got to get a vaccine. That's what we said. That was Chuck Schumer. Well, you guys got to get a vaccine. That's what we said. He's correct. Let's rewind that.
When they thought it couldn't be done, they said, well, you guys got to get a vaccine. And then all of a sudden.
That's what we said.
They're looking like it's going to be very close. We're doing great. We're doing great with vaccines and therapeutics, remdesivir, all sorts of other things that are bringing the rates down like at numbers that nobody can believe. But we have 3 vaccines right now. They're in the final stage, clinical trials. We worked it for the FDA where they approved it fast. They went very fast, very quick, at levels that nobody else could have ever achieved. No other administration, certainly the last one, because the last one was grossly incompetent. In fact, that's why I'm here. Because if it was good, I wouldn't have run. If they did their job, I wouldn't have run. I was very happy in my other life. I was very happy, but I'm very happy in this life, more happy, because nobody has produced in 3.5 years, the first 3.5 years, nobody has done what we have been able to do. Nobody. So we'll defeat the virus, and next year will be truly, I think, from an economic...
So Biden had on Trump supporter, apparently, potato farmer, and she was all, hey, so what are you going to do about regulations? Because regulations have been killing us. And the Biden administration, they wanted to have the regulations, the Clean Waters Act, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do about that? I wish I could coach Biden, because immediately, yes, regulation can contribute to making it difficult for farmers to operate. We don't want that. We think there's a clean energy, blah, 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 blah. But then before we even get into that, you want to point out farm bankruptcies are up under President Trump. It's a new record. Farmers are being strangled under President Trump. With those tariffs that he put on, the economy we left him was chugging along and farmers were doing great. Now we have more farmers out of business than ever before. They're leaving their family farms. Their farms have tilled the soil. The families have tilled the soils for decades, and they're leaving. Farm debt is at a record under President Trump. And that $28 billion he says he took from China, China didn't pay a cent. That $28 billion, that's going to 4% of the farms. And I don't know how big your farm is, man, but 96% of the farms are being left in the dust, and the dust will bear no fruit. I'd put that last part in myself because of fruit. It was barren and will hold no seed. Anyway, I wish I was Joe Biden because his wife's kind of cool.
Economic standpoint and from other standpoints, maybe the best
Yeah, highest farmer suicide as well.
year of all. Hard to believe we're going so fast. The numbers have been incredible. We've had employment numbers the best ever. We've had retail sales numbers the best ever. You see them all, they come out every day. And our stock market is, for the most part, at a new high. And if people have 401ks, if you want to have your 401k go down like to depression levels, I think you should vote for Sleepy Joe because he's going to raise your interest rates. He'll be raising your interest rates. You know, I watch him, though. He's denying all this stuff. You know, everything that he said, he's now denying. He said no fracking, right? There will be no fracking. He didn't know what fracking was, but he said there's no fracking. The reason is because everybody else, all of the radical left candidates up there, they couldn't get too far left. So Joe agreed. Then he gets the nomination. Now they're all angry. You know that Crazy Bernie, all of the left Democrats, they don't want to vote for him anymore because he made promises.
As opposed to the right Democrats, yeah.
And now all of a sudden, he forgot that he said no fracking. He said, well, now we can do some fracking. But, you know, remember this in politics. It's always the thing that they say.
Dude, Biden literally just handed you a gift horse today when he answered the question about fracking, saying that they wanted to eliminate fracking by 2050, which is 30 years from now, and that transitioning to jobs and clean energy, blah, 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 and he's talked to the unions, and the unions endorse him, and all that stuff. Was Trump not watching?
First, that's what they're going to do. No guns, no religion, no energy, no oil.
Just imagine.
Remember that. Remember, he put Beto in charge of his gun policy, right? Beto, crazy Beto. Remember when Beto went out? He said, I was born
Beto is not in charge of gun policy, by the way.
for this.
This is just something that's happened in Trump's head, along with Corey Biden moving minorities to the suburbs. Sorry. These are just things that happen in Trump's head.
And that's when it all came down. As soon as I heard that, anybody said they were born for this, it doesn't play well. But he's in charge of the Second Amendment, and you won't have a Second Amendment. Frankly, you wouldn't have a Second Amendment if I didn't get elected. It would have been obliterated. It would have been torn up. Maybe it would have been totally knocked out. But there's tremendous pressure on your Second Amendment.
Did I say Corey Biden? Yeah, that's what I meant, Corey Biden. That's Corey. In Trump's head, they're going to get gay married. Corey's going to take Biden's name, and it'll be Corey Biden. Try and keep up, At Random. Where you been? Jeez.
As long as I'm here, you'll always have a Second Amendment.
Never admit a mistake. Just make an amendment. That's what he said.
But I want to just say, you know, they do disinformation. They make up a phony story, and then they go with it. They make up a totally phony story. It's called disinformation. And one of the things, what they did, the worst of all, was the soldiers, because nobody loves our soldiers like I do. And they made up a phony deal. And that's why I say the gloves are off, because, you know, when they do that, that's worse than what I'm going to talk to you about. That's Big Ten. You know, we got it back, right? We got Big Ten.
Yeah, I bet.
But the soldier story about standing over the graves, you know the one I'm talking about. Then they do a commercial, and I said the good news about that is the gloves are off. I can now call him grossly incompetent. The man is incompetent. He's been there for 47 years. He didn't do a thing.
He's been calling Biden grossly incompetent for years.
Now all of a sudden, in years where he was never considered smart, but now he's really not considered smart. And now all of a sudden he's going to do what he never did in 47 years. He's going to do this and that and everything that I'm doing, everything that we're doing. But I want to congratulate the Big Ten Conference on yesterday's announcement that the fall season will start very soon. Oh, I hope your team does well after all that. I hope that team does well. But I especially want to thank a football legend. He was great. Wisconsin's own Barry Alvarez. He was great. Good. Got to be careful when you do that. You know, a lot of times you don't like people too much. They say, oh, we don't. But he's a good man. We worked with him. We worked with a whole group, including the commissioner of the league, did a very, very good job. But we called them, and the reason is that they took an ad. In other words, another one, disinformation. They took an ad saying I was against football. I'm the one that said they shouldn't close. But I said that, you know, if they close, they close. But then they took an ad saying I'm the one, I didn't want it. I wanted it closed. So then I said, well, no, I don't. I want it open. Let me call up the commissioner. We called up the commissioner. And he was great. He said, you really think so? And bottom line, we worked very hard. Lots of calls to lots of different states, lots of people. We dealt with the players, the parents of the players who are really the boss. That's okay. I won't say that. But these are players that have a shot at the NFL. They have a shot at pro football. We want the NFL to proudly stand when they sing our national anthem, right? Or their ratings are going to continue to go down like they did last weekend, down 27%. Because people don't want that. You know what? We have enough politics, right? We have politics here. We have politics all over. In fact, sometimes I have to turn it off. I can't do it anymore. I can't watch me. I can't watch me.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
But no, we have enough politics. We don't want to watch now on Sunday. Oh, here we go again with the politics. Let them play football. Let them stand and salute or put your hand on your heart and be proud of our country and be proud of our great American flag. And then go home to the mansion and have a good time, take a nice sauna, and then if you want, after you recover, you come out and you go and you do your thing, whatever the thing may be. But people don't want to see it, and the ratings are down. Here we go again. You know, I thought we taught them that lesson 2 years ago, didn't we think? I thought we taught that lesson. But Biden would absolutely eradicate your state's economy. I know this state very well. It's one of the reasons I made the great deal with Canada and Mexico, but Canada, because they were taking advantage of you so badly on your dairy products. You know, you had a 287% tariff on your dairy products with Canada. People don't realize Canada is one of the toughest negotiators, and they treated your state and this country very unfairly until I came along. Very, very unfairly. Did you know that? 287, but I saw some farmers, and this was like the straw that broke the camel's back. They had something called specialty milk. Does anybody know what that is, right?
Yes.
You know. A lot of people, it's a small little grouping of milks, specialty milk. But this was the final straw, and I met some people, and Canada finally did it to them like they did it to everybody else, and they raised the tariffs massively. They made it impossible. They tried to take over that business too, along with all of it. It was just massive and horrible what they did, and that really got me going. The little specialty milk, specialty products, a small portion, but you know what? That was it. And we have a great deal. The USMCA is a great deal, and I'm very honored to have done it. But it was all because
Specialty
of
milk farmers for Trump.
specialty milk and the way you were taken advantage of by Canada. You know, they have the wonderful, "Oh, Canada." We love to hear the song, right? But let me tell you, they are very tough, and they've taken advantage of our country for many, many years. And I will tell you this, they're not so happy now, but at least they got a deal. But you're happy, and it's about time you were happy. You now have a great deal, and you're not going to have your companies leaving for Mexico anymore or Canada. And you're not going to have them make your product in Mexico or Canada, send it over here with no tariff, with no tax, where we lose tax, we lose jobs, we lose our companies, we lose everything. And they make a lot of money selling the product to us, same product. So we're not doing that stuff anymore. There's a tremendous disincentive. It's called, like, let's not do it. And you haven't seen that lately. You haven't seen too many companies leaving, have you? It's sort of an amazing thing. It's a little bit like what we did with the statues. So on the statues, they were knocking them down 3 or 4 months ago. I said, do we have any laws? No. But there was a very old law. I said, what was it? You get 10 years in jail, 10 years in prison. They actually use the word prison, which is a tough word. You get 10 years in prison if you knock down a statue or a monument. I said, let me see that law. I want to see that law. Right, Glenn, right? I want to see that law. Where's Duffy? Is he there too? Oh, look at the guy. He's climbing trees tomorrow. And Rachel. Oh, Rachel. He was a good climber. You think he could climb up a tree faster than me? I think so. So I just want to tell you, so what we've done in a very, very short period of time is what nobody thought. And we came in and we did it, and we did it for you, and we did it for everybody. We did it for our country. But we wouldn't have a country left. What was happening to our country, how we were taking advantage, now we have to get 4 more years to cement it and to do additional things, including tax cuts. They're going to raise your taxes. They're going to raise your taxes very substantially. We're cutting your taxes. We got you the biggest tax cut in history, and we're going down lower, and it's called growth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Democrats, they want to...
The Democrats?
They want to just really break us down in terms of our competitive ability to compete with other nations. Do you notice what's happening with Japan? Do you know what? Notice what's happening? We have taken billions and billions of dollars in from China. We charge them a fortune. In fact,
Nope.
many farmers in this group, because you gotta love Trump. I gave you $28 billion, right? Thank you very much, China, right?
Very
you were
beautiful,
targeted. $12 billion, Sonny Perdue, Secretary of Agriculture. I said, Sonny,
12
how
billion
much
and then
have they
16
been
billion. Yeah.
hit for, targeted for? Remember when China said,
How has his audience not heard this? What is the point of being there?
we're not going to do anything, we're not buying, they thought they were going to put pressure on us. Sonny said,
Pressure?
sir, 12 billion the year before last, and last year was 16, total of 28 billion. We took 28 billion out of the tariffs. China never paid us 10 cents. Not 10 cents with Obama and Biden. And in all fairness, with no president, they paid us nothing. They pay us now tens of billions of dollars. I took a small portion of it. I added it up, 16 and 12, 28. And I said, $28 billion is going to the farmers. Did everybody get that money? Right? You had a very good year. You know, the farmers
No
have
applause.
had a very good year. Last week,
Silence.
China ordered, and you have to understand, I view China differently now than I did 6 months ago. We made a great trade deal, but I view it differently because I don't know if I can ever view it.
It's mostly boaters and motorcycle riders is what I understand his audience to be. I can't help him with his vignettes. Sometimes he starts with one, but he doesn't really get it. It was like when Kevin Lee Daughter was 6 years old, and she'd try. And we'd go, oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. But once she got it, it clicked, and we were so proud. I'm waiting for that moment with Trump.
The same. But last week, they know how I feel, and they're very smart. So instead of...
Trump will never get that, Rue. It's been explained to him multiple times. And I remember, in fact, I probably have that. Hold on.
saying we're not going to do business, which would have been okay with me. We would have worked it out somehow. You would have been very successful, the farmers. But last week, they had the largest order of corn. Did you know this? In the history of our country. Did anyone know this? The farmers? From China. Thank you very much. The largest order of soybeans in the history of our country. And one of the largest cattle orders in the history of our country, because they're very smart. Somebody else would have said, well, let's not do business, and then it would have been easy for me. But they gave us so much. I have every farmer calling up saying, please, do me a favor. We love this.
Okay, so this was a reporter talking to the president saying, hey, I've been talking to farmers that were really hurt by this whole thing that you're doing with the tariffs. And how do I make it so you guys can see it? What if I do this?
All you have to do is ask China.
There you go. The reporter says, hey, so the farmers are not all that happy. I interviewed one. I talked to one. And his response to that was, first off, he gets the tariff wrong. He doesn't understand how tariff works. And this is arguing with them about how tariffs work. And then he says, you talked to the wrong farmer.
No, what happens is China devalues their currency, and China also is pouring money out, and that will pay for the tariffs. It's a total misnomer. Now, I don't say that with all...
That's not a misnomer. That's not what a misnomer is.
Countries, but with China, They're very highly sophisticated, but so are we. More than anybody would understand. All you have to do is ask China. All you have to do is ask China. But let me just explain. So China is devaluing their currency, and they're also pouring money in. Their currency is going to hell, but they're also pouring money in, and that will totally pay for the tariffs.
The tariffs
are not being paid for by our people.
They still are being paid for by our people, regardless of the value of the dollar. And when the dollar goes up against the Chinese currency or any other currency, it hurts our production.
It's being paid for by China because of devaluation and because they're pumping money in. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you interviewed the wrong farmer, number one. Number two, any amount that China sucks out, we're making up out of the billions of dollars that we're taking in. Remember this. Our country is taking in billions and billions of dollars from China.
They aren't.
We never took in 10 cents from China. And out of that many billions of dollars, we're taking a part of it and we're giving it to the farmers because they've been targeted by China. The farmers, they come out totally whole. So you interviewed the wrong farmer.
You interviewed the wrong farmer. She didn't know. She didn't check. She didn't do her research. Come on, reporter. Stop it with the fake news. She talked to a fake farmer.
We love this. This is a great deal. It's a great deal, but we feel differently about it, don't we? We just feel differently about it. I don't talk about it like I used to. I talked about it. It was great, and it's turned out to be a great deal, but I don't talk about it the same way. At no time before has there been a clearer choice between two parties, two visions, two philosophies, or two agendas for the future than these two parties. You got law and order on one side and you have chaos on the other. On November 3rd, Wisconsin will decide whether we will quickly return to record prosperity or whether we will allow Biden and the Democrats to impose a $4 trillion tax hike, ban American energy, confiscate your guns, which is what they want to do, shut down the economy, destroy the suburbs. You know, they were destroying our suburbs. You know that, right? I don't know. Somebody said, you're just doing okay in the suburbs. I said, how can I do okay? I saved the suburbs. What I've done is save the suburbs. And you know this, I don't have to go into it, but I saved the suburbs. I think the suburbs, you know that last time, 4 years ago, oh, he's not going to do well with women. I did great with women. They said, well, a big thing. Remember that?
He lost women.
Election year. He won't do well. This will be a very short. Not doing well with women. I did great. They said at the end of the night, after they announced I won, they said, what happened? Well, he did very well with women. I don't know how it happened there.
White women.
They said he did very well with African-American community. He did very well with Hispanic.
6% African-American.
They said he did very well
Corey
with
Biden.
everything. We kicked their ass. That was it. No, but was that one of the greatest evenings ever, remember? And remember all the fake news? Look at all the, oh, lie, that's a lie. Whoa.
That's one of my least favorite
That's
evenings.
a lot of people back there. Look at that. The red lights are on. Don't worry, I won't say anything bad about you, CNN. Because as soon as I'm getting ready to say something about fake news, et cetera, the
light
lights
goes on.
start going off.
Nobody's
so I'm not gonna
covering
look.
you.
One just went off anyway.
Hold on.
You can tell by the lights. They got that little beautiful red light. You see it?
Yeah,
But
hold
I
on.
won't say anything
I
bad
don't even know
about
if
it, but
CNN
they
has a
are
camera there.
Fakers. And
This
you
is all
remember
poll.
when they
Let's
were
find
saying
out.
that the polls are terrible. Actually, these polls are very good compared. That was so bad, it was like, why did anybody vote? They're called suppression polls. They make them so bad that you lose all your appetite, you lose all your spirit, they take your guts out, and you don't go and vote. And your wife looks at you and said, darling, I love that guy, but he's not going to win.
Hold on.
He doesn't have a chance. It's possible.
This is during
Including
Hannity.
one who attempted to murder a
So I
police
wanna see if they're
officer
actually
and a man
covering
who
it
was
live.
accused of sexual America. The wall days ago by Chicago police.
Investigative reporter Lawrence Jones is
but safely.
Oh, let's see what
Well,
is attacking Kamala for.
burst out laughing when discussing children returning to school. I don't know why this is funny. Maybe you can figure it out. Take a look.
Maybe we can.
One of the biggest dilemmas for any of us as a parent is what to do about our kids in school. Yes. K through 12, college, all of that. And we all want them to go back to school.
Yeah, my God, I'm done with my kids at home. Oh, they're driving me nuts. Oh, the kids. That's what's funny. It's a, yeah, well, how is that? Hannity can't understand that? Does Hannity not have any children?
Right? But
I'm sorry, but there's not a parent in the country who can't understand why she's laughing. Stop touching your brother. Stop touching, do not touch it. Do not touch, what do you, one time, literally, and my kids were, for the most part, they were angels. I got really, really lucky. One time, there was some arguing going on in the back seat. Each of them individually was my currently son was a perfect child. Never any problem whatsoever. Never got in trouble. Kevin Lee daughter could be a handful. But together, they would fight over things. One time, I swear to God, I turn around, get to the stoplight, I turn around, what are you fighting about? Piece of torn paper. They were fighting over a piece of torn paper because Kevin Lee's son had it and put it down. He's in his booster seat. He puts it down. Kevin Lee's daughter picks it up. This upsets Kevin Lee. It could have gone the other way. It probably went the other way. It's probably Kevin Lee's daughter. I don't even know. I didn't care at that point. So I left them both on the side of the road for 2 days, and that straightened them up. Anyway, enough with the parenting tips. Let's get back to the rally here.
It's because the polls, he's down 10, he's down 20, he's down...
So yeah, I can understand. Wait, this is the wrong feed. What the hell? No, it's not. There it is. Okay.
Down 50 points, darling. He can't possibly win. Let's go have dinner, and then we'll come home and watch his concession speech. But my people didn't buy that, because my people went out to vote.
Oh, good. We're talking about 4 years ago. I hope after he loses, he still does rallies.
And instead...
We want glue. We want glue. We want glue.
We watched her concession speech. That was Crooked Hillary. That was a real piece of work. Remember when she was saying, will you accept the decision of the voters? Will you accept that decision?
That is the worst Hillary impression.
I didn't,
it's not even shrill.
I wasn't perfect. I said, I'll see how it works out. I mean, I should have said, yes, I will, but I couldn't do that because I know how crooked she is, right? Would you accept the decision? And then the anchors.
That's one of the few Trump books that I actually want to read. Hoax. Brian Stelter does an interesting. He has a media viewpoint of the Trump administration. That's what he does. He just keeps tabs on the media. If you don't want to go and purchase his book, I would recommend getting his newsletter. Every night he puts out a sort of a news summary and talks about the dealings, the goings on within the television industry as well. It's quite good.
They said to me like, well, will you accept? They're coming after me. I said, you're supposed to be going after her a little bit too. Did you ever see debates where you had all of the anchors plus the candidates against me? And here we sit. Is that Air Force One? Yes, that's Air Force One. How did that happen? No, we had a
rigged election. Our country literally has a rigged election system. It's called the Electoral College. You hated it until you won.
A lot of times I'd say to the anchor, I'd say, wait a minute. This isn't fair. I mean, I'm watching what they're doing with Biden where he's using teleprompters. Move it up. I can't see. He's shot. No.
But it wasn't a teleprompter.
President Xi of China is not shot. Putin is not.
Here's the thing. The one of the reasons that Hillary lost, and the first day that I knew that she would lose was September 11th because she wasn't being transparent. And people hate that. We've reached an age where there are X amount of people that are just going to swallow whatever you say, hook, line, and sinker. And that's that. But most of us are out there and we're a little bit discerning. And if he lies or somebody else lies, we know when we're being lied to. We're more sophisticated than that, especially when it comes to media. And we notice body language and quirks and tells. We know. We know. Trump has a tell. Trump adjusts his tie. That's one of his tells. A big tell for Trump. And then the other, the look down, and he comes back. He makes something up and he comes back. He does that a lot too. Yeah, he's working off of teleprompters as well, Colleen. But I totally forgot what we're talking about. See? I touched my tie. I just made it up. That's what I say. The Biden campaign should say, yes, this is what he has set up in his interview area. We have a teleprompter there all the time, not with answers to questions on it. We have the teleprompter there because after this, we're doing a thing with ABC4 where he's going to say, hey, I need everyone to come out and vote for so-and-so on November 3rd, and we'll see you at the polls, or whatever it is. I have a teleprompter. I have a teleprompter, right? I'm not kidding. I have a teleprompter right here. Most people involved in the media somehow, not most people, I'll say this, a lot of people involved in the media somehow have teleprompters. A lot more now. Because we're all working from home. Everything I'm saying tonight is off a teleprompter. Move it up a little bit. Thank you.
Not shot. Kim Jong-un, remember we're supposed to be in a war with him. What happened to the war? We're not, no, it seems to be good. Did you see the Middle East 2 days ago?
Did you see the Middle East 2 days ago?
Remember our incompetent negotiator, John Kerry? He never got up to walk. The guy's getting beaten on every point. I say, walk, get up and leave the table. You're giving up. They'd say, we want this. He'd say, well, I'd rather not. We want this. Okay, you got it. We want that. You got it. We want that. Say no and walk. They'll possibly call you back. And if they don't, that's okay, too. But right now, I will tell you, Iran...
Oh, that's interesting, Ruth Ann. Was that was at Hofstra? That was the debate where he said his mic was broken, right? So he wouldn't show up for the sound check, which is typical of Trump. He doesn't even read his speeches before they give it to him. I mean, the State of the Union, he's decided to do that. He did that one time. We saw him in the back of the limo, and now he just wings it. So, and then that's, says things like Thailand. Yeah, so Ruth Ann says they had to cut the auditorium mic because he was so freaking loud that he was interfering with the live feed. So they had to cut his mic, yeah. So, of course, it was unfair and he complained. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that well. And he still talks about it today. Yeah, the deal was done yesterday. He called up Woodward in August and tried to get him to put it in the book. At the time, it was just the UAE-Israel deal. And the book was on press already, so couldn't. And Trump was upset about it.
If we win, Iran will be calling us within the first week. They're dying to make a deal. GDP down 27%. They don't have too much money for terror anymore. It's actually amazing. Do you know?
I haven't checked Iran's GDP. I'm not going to.
This is what's going on. Now, I don't want to speak too loud. But I did put out on social media the other day that if they hit us in any way, any form, written instructions already done, we're going to hit them 1,000 times harder than we've ever hit them before.
Tell us more, Cadet Bone Spurs.
So hopefully they will just come and we'll make a deal and they'll go back to being a rich country. Let them go be.
That's what Stormy said. Hopefully he'll just come and we'll make a deal and...
back and be rich, but they cannot have a nuclear weapon. They cannot. That deal was so bad that Obama made $150 billion. They got 100.
It wasn't a deal. Obama was giving them back their money because the Hague was going to find against us $10 billion.
$150 billion for nothing. The deal is practically, if I didn't terminate it, which I'm proud to have done, but if I didn't terminate it, and they got $1.8 billion in cash, how about that? If I didn't terminate that stupid deal, First of all, you wouldn't have the deal in the middle.
The cash was completely independent. The cash was paid to the U.S. in the 70s for military equipment. You know how we love to sell military equipment to the Middle East. And after the overthrow of the Shah, the money stayed in the U.S., but it was Iran's money. It belonged to the people of Iran. I know. So eventually the money had to be given back, and Iran, of course, sued the United States. And this is now 40 years later. It's like, that's a lot of interest. So yeah, they got some of their money back. And had it actually gone through the court system, they would have gotten 10 times more, because the U.S. time and time again refused to give the money back. And the rest of the world doesn't necessarily look at Iran like we look at Iran. Now, what did Trump do to the international courts? Well, he sanctioned the investigators. So if you're an investigator for the international court now, you can't come to the U.S. And if you have any funds in the U.S., they're being held. Because the international court will look at U.S. soldiers when they commit war atrocities. And Trump doesn't like anybody touching American soldiers. If anyone is going to denigrate American soldiers, it's going to be him.
Middle East, and all these countries are joining. It's happening fast. They're all one.
So yeah, he's literally not only is he obstructing justice, he's taking his act internationally. That's what he's done. He's literally obstructing justice at The Hague.
They want to all join. We did it, the reverse. We did it the reverse. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's interesting. Thank you very much. I knew I liked you. So the Nobel Peace Prize. So the funny thing, a lot of people don't know it because the fake news doesn't write about it. So if you're a president, right?
Nobel Peace Prize.
And you are nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. You're the United States. No, but think of this.
Okay.
That's a big deal. I mean, Obama got it like in his first couple of weeks, and nobody knew.
So he got it. He wasn't just nominated. He got it. Okay.
Why he got it, including
You've been nominated before, but you didn't get it.
him. Remember, he couldn't tell you why. He had no idea. To this day, he has no idea why he got it. But if you're a president and you get nominated, then 2 days later, you get nominated. Did you know this? A second time for a different deal. Kosovo. Serbia.
So you're going to be a 2-time loser in 1 year. That's impressive. Like, I don't think that's ever happened before. Nobody's seen anything like it.
They've been killing each other for hundreds of years. I stopped a lot of death, and I did it like easy. It wasn't hard for me. It's sort of a natural thing to do. But we did a good thing. But you know what? They did it.
Stopping death is not something that comes natural to Trump. I think we know that now.
A check. So I got nominated twice for the Nobel Peace Prize. That's a big deal. I don't know.
Like, why not just say 30 times? Why not?
I should.
No, Christopher, he's not going to do that. He's going to pay Russian hookers to do that.
Have gotten nominated 7 times because we did a lot of other things. But these are for 2 different deals. And not one mention was made on the evening news. Think of it. Now, when Obama got it, it was
Go ahead and win one,
headlines.
and we'll talk about it.
Headlines. Our president just
'cause
got.
Do you understand? Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. You got nominated along with 300 other people. Do you see the difference? So you've accomplished let's be fair, 156 of what Obama did. And then Obama won on top of that. So
The Nobel Peace Prize, he was just nominated. Headlines. Like his first little while he got it. And to this day, frankly, he did a lousy.
Again, he wasn't nominated. He won. So there were no headlines saying he got nominated. He won, asshole.
Job. He was a lousy president. He really was. And his vice president, I'll tell you what, his vice president was
Moonhaze.
very good.
No one can predict the future. So
good for you know who? For Hunter. Where's Hunter? Remember the quid pro quo? Remember? I have not given them that $1 billion unless you get rid of that prosecutor. And whoa, they got rid of the prosecutor. Here's the billion.
The U.S. didn't give them $1 billion. It was a loan guarantee. It was the International Monetary Fund that gave the loan to Ukraine. So that's all just backwards.
Yeah, right? But they don't want to play that too often. You know, you have to look around for it. No, it's a very unfair deal. But as the expression goes, we won. I don't know how the hell we did it, if you think about it.
Hey, Moonhaze, no victory is guaranteed. Remember they were saying that about Hillary last time, okay? I said he was going to win, but no one believed me.
When you look at the opposition, when you look at how unfair it is, and these guys know very well, you look at how unfair it is, it's pretty damn good. But we have a lot of support. We have tremendous support of the people. These rallies, look at this rally, these rallies.
These oh, I forgot.
These rallies are incredible. And I will tell you, Sean,
What? Go ahead. You can tell him. Is that the feed?
Gap ever polled.
That was the feed.
I'm not a believer in the polls, but I believe that one, it's the biggest enthusiasm gap. He's got no enthusiasm. The only enthusiasm is for the people that want to beat us. They want to beat me.
Yes,
that's the only thing he's got. The people
more
that
than
want
enough.
They couldn't care less about him. He could be that piece of wood that was left on the ground.
As long as he's not you.
Biden will hand the left-wing mob the keys to your kid's classroom. Earlier today, I took a historic stand against the hateful...
Well, my kids aren't in class because you didn't test in February. So their school is closed. So go ahead. Give them the key to the classroom. Maybe they'll clean up in there.
Lies being fed to America's youth. The parents know all about it. And I checked. They're doing it in Wisconsin, too. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised. I know you people. I'm a little surprised you let it happen.
I'm a little surprised.
But we're going to get rid of it. I announced
is
that
he
we're
drunk?
launching fed to America's youth. The parents know all about it. And I checked. They're doing it in Wisconsin, too.
Here we go.
I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised.
I'm a little surprised.
I'm a little surprised you let
I
it
was a little
happen.
surprised. I was
But
surprised.
we're going to get rid of it. I announced that we're launching a new pro-American lesson plan for students called 1776 Commission. We're going to teach our children the truth about America, that we're the most exceptional nation ever to exist, and we're getting better every single day. Sleepy Joe Biden is wholly owned and controlled by the far left. He even opposed sending the National Guard into a place called Kenosha. Did you ever hear of Kenosha?
Yes.
How about that? Did we do a good job? Now, I mean, I wish we did it a little sooner, but we finally got your governors okay. You know, we have to do that. If we got to get the governors to...
He called for them before you even mentioned it.
Say, please do it. How they don't do it in some other places when you look at what's going on with Chicago, right? When you look at what's going on with Portland, those are just anarchists. You know how long it would take us to fix up Portland in terms of ending it all? I'd say far...
Moonhaze, you're welcome to chat, but if you don't have anything constructive to say, I mean, we'll have an argument if you want to. I'll set you straight. I'm happy to. But if you're just going to say things that are going to happen that may or may not happen, let me just say this. Predictions are really hard to make, especially if they're about the future. As Mark Twain, by the way, that wasn't me. I mean, it was me right now. Was it the Office episode? Where on the billboard, on the eraser board in the back, Michael had written, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Michael Scott. And then, no, he said Wayne Gretzky, and then Michael Scott. Because he also said it. He said what Wayne Gretzky, so he got credit on his little eraser board.
Far less than an hour. I'd say a half hour. Look at what we did at...
Well, Moonhaze, and you just, instead of just saying like, oh, Trump's going to win, Why? What? Okay, maybe he will. Maybe he won't. So? Like try and comment on what he's saying or something else going on in the news. Don't just be mindless. It's like you come off like if you're a Russian bot or something, then just keep going with this MAGA 2020 nonsense and we'll get rid of you. But we welcome all viewpoints here. If you have questions, let us know. If you do think he's going to win, there's probably a reason. Give us the reason. Tell us why you support his policies. Let us know how you think so we can have a discussion. That's all. Just, be intelligible, if you know what that means.
Minneapolis, we're doing well in Minnesota because they saw what happened. Now, they shouldn't have allowed it to go on for 11 days. They should have called us immediately. But you remember?
It was 2 days. It was 2.5 days. It was not 11 days.
Remember that beautiful night? Nice evening. A little problem. There were a lot of buildings in the back.
A couple of weeks ago, he said it was 2 weeks. Then on ABC, he said it was 10 days. Now it's back to 11 days. So that'll just fluctuate all over the place. George Floyd was killed by 4 cops on May 25th. National Guard was there May 28th. They were called out at 11 a.m. on May 28th by the governor, Mr. Waltz.
That were burning down to the ground, as reporters said. No, this is a peaceful protest, okay? By the way...
Yeah, Moonhaze, you're not getting this. I don't know if you're not comprehending it or English is your second language or something, but no, that's not what I'm talking about. Give it a shot. Tell us why you think he'll win. Okay? Just give us, there's got to be reasons behind it, or more than just because.
Wait, officially, this is called a protest. You know that. We no longer call it rallies. We don't use the term rally, okay?
Literally on the site, it's called rally.
Rachel knows. We don't call them rallies anymore because, you're not allowed to have a political rally for more than 10 people. You're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to meet. You're not allowed to talk to anybody.
I didn't know that, Bella. That's fantastic if that is what happened. Awesome.
You have to stay in a prison. Your home has become your prison. And then I'm saying, well, what are you allowed to do? Sir, you're not allowed to do anything.
Al, he's doing the worst job of trolling I've ever seen. If Moonhaze is just a troll, he's terrible at it.
I mean, there is one thing, but it doesn't pertain to you. What is it? Well, you are allowed to protest. Oh, really? Oh. Hence the name. We call them friendly protests. So these are protests, so it's totally allowed. This is a protest. Remember, when they walk out and when you walk outside, what do you consider this? Did you enjoy the rally? No, I really, this is a protest.
I was surprised.
They have a little line, and I don't know if it's your state, but a couple of them, you're allowed to protest. So you can't go to church, but you can rip the hell out of the streets of Main Street and Fifth Avenue, break up the stores, burn down the buildings, climb over each other's face. You can climb right over their face. You don't have to wear masks. You don't have to do anything. 25.
I have not seen any footage of people climbing over faces, for one. Maybe on Fox, their show. Is that on Hannity right now? We can check out Hannity. Climbing over faces. Like you're a dog? Is that like when your dog comes after in the night and they just come? You have a dog? I have a friend whose dog, she took pictures of her dog. Like the nose is literally in her mouth. Never done this before until about a week ago. She thinks it might be the fires because the dog goes out in the middle of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, goes to the bathroom. She goes back to bed. He gets in the bed, and then the snout is right here. Archie. And he's the bestest boy. He really is. I had a cat who used to sleep on my chest. And every once in a while, if the cat was not getting the attention that it craved, I'd be sleeping there on my back, just like, and it would take its paw right in the... Pretty good cat, apart from that.
5,000 people walking down the street, looters, anarchists, agitators, burning...
I gotta say, though, my cat story is way better than his crawling over the faces... And they're crawling up in the faces. I don't like it.
Down stores, throwing things at police. They've taken the authority away from our police, our great police. They've taken their authority and their dignity away. We're giving it back. We have to. We have to. By the way, I was endorsed by New York's finest.
You were not.
And we're with them all the way. I was
were not.
just endorsed 2 days ago by Chicago police. I think that takes courage, right? Philadelphia.
Okay.
Florida, Texas, everybody, Ohio.
Who?
I don't know, did anybody, is there one group of, even if it was a tiny little group of 2 or 3 police, did anybody
Who has the
endorse Sleepy
courage in
Joe? I
that
don't think
scenario?
so.
Him or the police?
But we did a great job in Kenosha. We got out there. I went there, as you know, a little while ago. But had we not gone in, that place would have been burned to the ground.
Okay, wasn't he just talking about Minneapolis? Not I don't know. Maybe I missed it.
They did damage. We should have gone in. I wanted to go in the first night. We would have stopped it immediately. But it was a great outcome, as was in Minnesota. Again, if they would have called us early, it would have been over. Portland, oh, I'd love to go there. That would.
Christopher, good luck. I don't know what this is about, but good job, Christopher. Good. Break a leg.
Be so easy. You know, in Seattle, they heard we were coming in. They gave up. They heard I said, that's enough.
Oh, you got a COVID test. Christopher, where are you?
We're going in. I don't care. We're going in. Do you have permission? No, we're going in. They took over a chunk of the city.
20%?
And when they heard we were going in, it's like, well, we give up. That was the end of the Seattle problem. Now it's a terrible thing that's going on. All in Democratic-run, super liberal-run cities. They're red. The red cities are doing great. I think we're doing great all over. The Republican cities, you know, we're fair. We're not stupid. How stupid these people are. Did you see Chicago? 48 people shot. 6 died. You know, we're in Afghanistan. We're pulling the troops. You know that. We're coming back. We're almost finished. We're pulling, finally, these endless wars. These endless wars. And we had to fight other things, but we've done a great job. But we're acting like a police force over there. No, we're pulling troops. We're almost out of Iraq. That's another one. We're down to about 2,000 troops. Did you know that, Sean? 2,000 troops.
I didn't know that.
So Syria, we're out, but we kept the oil. So we have some. Was it okay that we at least kept the oil? You know, I feel badly because we have some troops. Oh, you haven't pulled the troops. I said, no, we're gone. We pulled all the troops out of Syria. Remember, we were supposed to be guarding the border between Syria and Turkey. I said, why are we doing that? They said, well, you know, we are. I said, wait a minute, we have an army of 100,000 here, an army of 25, 30,000 here. We got 5,000 soldiers in them. That's a very dangerous position to be in. I don't like it. They've been guarding their own borders with different names for 1,000 years. Why?
Guys, how many soldiers did he say were left in Iraq?
The hell do we have to be over there guarding their border? We want to guard our own borders, right? Where we're doing very well. We're doing great on our southern border. You know, I hate to say this, but that wall is going up very rapidly.
It's 3,000. We just announced a withdrawal to 3,000. So he's off by, 50%. But yeah, why can't he get any numbers right? Any numbers! Every time, he's probably mentioned, I'll tell you how many times, I'll look it up. He's mentioned the number of electoral votes, 306 to 223. Not accurate. He gets it wrong every single fucking time. And I'm going to tell you how many times he's done it.
10 miles a week. We're up to 330 miles. And that wall will be finished very soon. You think that was easy? That was not easy, our great congressman over here. That was not easy. The Democrats were totally in favor of a wall. Until I said, when I came in, we will build the wall. As soon as I said it, they were against the wall. They said, we don't want you to build a wall.
He's gotten the results of the election wrong 273 times.
Walls don't work. I said, no, walls always work. You know what else works? The wheel. The wheel
in public.
In the wall. You
come back 1,000 years, there's going to be a will to wall.
Come back in 1,000 years from now.
I was surprised.
The only 2 things I know for sure, you're going to have a wheel and you're going to have a wall.
And walls and a rope. Possibly
the computers,
rope.
They come up
also
with a
water.
Brand new computer. It's
buckets.
Genius. 12
there will still
days
be
later,
buckets.
It's obsolete.
That's a basic instrument of carrying water.
Wheels.
Everybody needs water. You're also going to have some sort of knife or saw. You're going to have some hammers made from stones. Those will still.
They were incredible, actually. I tell it to them. I should have said, instead of, we will build a wall, we will build a wall, we will build, then the Democrats held us up and fought us and sued us and everything else. And now we won so many lawsuits on the wall, and we had the military money. I could build like 10 walls with all the money we have. It's the craziest thing.
Just admitted he took the military money again. That's the second time he's done that. He just admitted he took the military money.
Maybe we'll build it double thick, or we'll go twice as high. No, but the wall is great. Everything that they wanted. But I made one mistake. I should have said, we will not build a wall. Then they would have insisted that we build it. I could have saved 2 years of litigation. We will not build a wall under any circumstances. Then Pelosi would say, we demand that you build a wall. These people are terrible.
Everybody sounds like Pelosi.
Crazy Nancy, crazy as a bedbug. She's crazy as a bedbug.
Are bedbugs crazy historically?
She decided to make a nice little stop in at the beauty parlor. How did that work out? I don't know. Not too good. It didn't work out too well.
That's a
Can
saying.
you imagine the owner of the beauty parlor is a MAGA lady? She loves Trump. Oh, can you believe it? And I don't.
Apparently, when bedbugs crawl around your mattress, they have insane antics. So, I didn't know. So crazy as a bedbug. I've always heard crazy as a loon. But, yeah, okay. I haven't seen loons being crazy, come to think of it. But bedbugs, sure.
I don't know what it is, but
yeah, I've never had bedbugs. I was going there, Al. Al finished the joke for me. And he's delayed, too, so that's impressive. Good job, Al.
I think if I owned a beauty parlor, I had a customer.
Babe got there eventually as well.
I'm not so sure I'd be turning her in.
I'm only going to do setups from now on. And then you guys can go ahead and fill in the punchlines.
The owner turned Nancy in. That's a lot of hate. That's serious hate, right? No, she's a great owner. As far as I'm concerned, I think she's fantastic. She's for us. They said, what made you do it? You know what she said? Because I see how hard our president has to work. I see what they put him through. I see what he puts up with. And I turned her in. You know that? How about that? How about that, huh?
Yeah, it was Jim Cramer on Mad Money. Of Mad Money.
Oh, we love her. She can do my hair anytime. I think I'm going to call her in. Check it out. Maybe you can do something. Maybe you can improve it. It's not bad, though. I have friends my age. They're not looking too good. Instead of standing up for America, Joe Biden and the Democrats, they condemn America. And war is always waged on our great law enforcement. We love our law enforcement. Come on.
That is what Biden said tonight. And that the vast majority of police officers are great people. And you know who hates the bad cops more than anybody? The good cops. And the cops need more funding and better requirement, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, should have watched the town hall. I don't know what he was doing on Air Force One. Maybe they don't have any TVs. He's never talked about the TVs.
Kamala Harris. That's another great beauty. Kamala Harris. That's a beauty. Remember, I tell the story all the time. When you pick somebody that's hot, that's going in the right direction, right?
Like Mike Pence.
Came out. She was at like 14, 15 in the polls.
Yeah.
And she started going down.
Is he going to say like a rock or like a rock in water?
Down.
Yeah.
It never stopped. It drove her crazy. She was terrible in the debates. Wait till you see well, I don't want to put pressure on her, but wait till you see what Mike Pence does to her in the debate. But I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to put pressure. Mike, do we have a great vice president? Is he great? He is great. And he loves this state. Loves all the states, actually. He's just a great American. But you remember...
Yeah, politicians love all the states. All of them are great states because it rhymes.
Remember his last debate, what he did to that character from Virginia? That one wasn't good. The other guy's jumping around. Rah, rah, rah. Mike is just sitting there. We love America. We're going to lower your taxes. Thank you.
He can't even remember the name of Hillary's vice president. I want to say Ralph. Anyway, she had one.
No, Mike is great. But Kamala Harris and 13 members of Biden's staff urged their supporters to donate to a fund to bail out rioters, take them out of jail, get them out of jail as soon as possible, including one who attempted to murder a police officer and a man who was accused of sexually
Potsy Weber. Thank you, Marcy.
assaulting an 8-year-old girl. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. You know, Kamala is considered.
Tim Kaine is correct. The spelling is not, but it was Tim Kaine. Yes.
Further left.
That's the joke. Like, at least he spoke Spanish, and he did a terrible Trump impression, but at least he gave it a shot.
Left than Crazy Bernie. Think of that.
Bernie.
And they got there. I mean, seriously.
We're on to Bernie
You know
now?
the manifesto that Biden. It's not Biden. Biden's not agreeing to anything. His people, his representatives, because Biden doesn't know he's alive. Let's not kid ourselves. Biden didn't agree. He didn't. They just told him what's happening. They said, listen, you're against fracking, but now you have to be in favor of fracking because you lucked out. Elizabeth Warren decided not to drop out.
Ruth Ann Same.
And when she stayed, Pocahontas, you know Pocahontas? Did anybody ever hear of her?
We're moving
She's
on to
another
Pocahontas
great one.
now.
Pocahontas.
What is happening?
I said to her a long time ago, I've got more Indian blood in me than you do, and I have...
He feeds. It's like... This whole thing is like an episode of Star Trek where you got the one ship and then you got the Klingons and it's like, oh, we hate you. No, we hate you. And like some weapons go off and like, Captain, I didn't fire them. What is going on? And then we have to stop. We have to talk. Put them on the communicator. And the communicator goes on and the captain's all like, I want peace. Except on the other side, he's saying, I want war. And it's all messed. It's like, what is going on? And things are happening. And then it turns out that the entity that is the cloud formation that's out there, which is like some gel over a camera in the background, because it's 1968 when they're shooting this, and the gel, and it feeds off negative energy. That's Trump. He's the thing that feeds off the negative energy. The more you fight, the angrier you become, the more powerful he becomes. And that's better than the new Star Trek because they just go in the holodeck and then things happen. They get stuck in the holodeck and they get shot, but it's for real. It's like, stay the fuck out of the holodeck.
I have none. Sadly, I'd love a little bit of it. But I have none. I said I have, and I turned out to be right. She choked, and she went for a blood test.
Phyllis, if you remember that episode, you remember about 48 episodes. That was about 48 times. And then in the new one, the other plot line was Data wants to feel emotion. It's like, why? Like, aren't you okay right now? Isn't it good just being all the time? It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, what was it? 1024th. Meaning maybe 900 years ago. There was a little action going on.
No, because her ancestors weren't here 100 more. Remember that 1776 project you were talking about?
Crazy Pocahontas. She's a nasty one, though, isn't she? She's
Why are we talking about Elizabeth Warren right now? Again, at the beginning of the rally, this is him. We will support your right to the Second Amendment, which is... And then as it's gone, he's just... Now he's all like, Pocahontas! That's a crazy one. That's a crazy one. I said, give her a test. Do the DNA. I'll pay for it. Throw it to her lightly.
She's a terrible person.
Yeah.
I was hoping that she'd win so we could go after her, you know, because I think Kamala is not as smart.
Here's a Star Trek fan. CM says, I always think I would be the compliance officer on the Enterprise wanting to know why they didn't have security controls to prevent drunk androids and whiz kids from taking over the ship. I would think that too. Here. What was his name? Wesley, take the bridge for a moment. I'll be back. Terrible idea. Wesley, take the bridge for a moment. I'll be back. I used to do a pretty decent Picard. Hold on. Make it, number one, make it, sir. I can't do Patrick Stewart anymore because he won't return my calls.
But she's a little bit less vicious. I think the one who treated Sleepy Joe the worst was Kamala. She accused him of Me Too. She accused him of everything. She accused him of that he was a racist, right? That
Nope.
he was a racist?
No, she did not.
Because what he's done to the black population of this country was a terrible thing. She's accused him of everything under the book. The busing, remember the busing scandal?
Under the book?
So I said brilliantly, he'll never pick her.
What kind of stuff are we hiding under the book? That's like where the worst, that's racism and...
Because she was too terrible to him. She
Too
was the worst of everybody,
terrible.
by far, I would say. But she picked him, and hopefully that's going to be history. It's not going to matter. And that is no way for a woman to become the first president, that's for sure. And if a woman is going to become the first president of the United States, it can't be her. That would rip our country apart. This is not what people want. And she comes in through the back door. This would not be what people want, especially because it's her. Biden has called to end cash bail, you know that, right, for vicious criminals? Meaning if you assault a cop or anybody else, you're right back on the street the next day. He called for police, and he calls them all the time the enemy. He says that...
And he called for his Fiddlers 3.
The enemy. And he just thinks it's terrible. He thinks it's terrible. Now he's liking the police much more. It's a little late. Remember, first instinct, that's where they're going. And he has no choice because he has to. Because, again, I was going to say, the radical left hates him because they think he deceived them, because they agreed on that.
This is the guy that doesn't read his presidential daily briefings, doesn't listen to the presidential daily briefings, cancels them most of the time, will not confer with his generals, sends out orders via tweet, and he thinks somehow that Biden's going to be controlled.
Manifesto, and that manifesto is seriously a leftist dream. And he agreed from the Green New Deal, getting rid of your planes, no more airplane trips. Remember the crazy senator from Hawaii? Do you like the Green New Deal? I love it very much, she said. Oh, okay, well, you're the senator from Hawaii. That's right, the beautiful island of Hawaii.
Do you know her name, sir?
She said, well, you know, under the Green New Deal, you basically can't fly in an airplane. Oh, that's a problem.
Did he just say the beautiful island?
So they said they'd build...
Hold on.
Island of Hawaii.
Oh, the island.
So, well, you know, under the Green New Deal, you basically can't fly in an airplane. Oh, that's a problem.
Does he know that Hawaii is more than one island? Does he know that? Do we think? He said island, right?
Hawaii, that's right. The beautiful island of Hawaii.
Islands?
She said, well, you know, under the Green New Deal, you basically...
I don't know that he knows Hawaii is more than one island.
Basically can't fly in an airplane. Oh, that's a problem. So they said they'd build a bridge from the mainland to Hawaii. It's 2,000 miles long, but these are minor details. Now, remember her when they explained to her that, you know, planes are out? Cows are out. Cows. They don't want cattle. They don't want cows. Did they withdraw that one? That was a tough one, wasn't it?
It was never in there.
They don't want cows. Bad for the ozone layer. Who would even think of that? I mean, you got to be sick to even think.
Yeah, Hawaii is actually, it consists of 5 islands, 50 islands. That's how you remember it. That's what the show is called. That's how you know, 50 islands. You can confirm that with Marcy.
Okay, give me a break.
But warning in advance, Marcy has this joke thing that she does with mainlanders, and mainlanders, that's how she refers to people who are vampires, and there can only be one. So she'll be like, no, it's not. There's not 50 islands. She's gonna be that way. Watch. This is her thing. It's just, don't trust me though. It's 50 islands.
Give me a break. And I guess under that theory, this big guy is next. He's next. No,
what guy? What did he do?
It's a sick deal going out there. You know, to do it the way they want would cost $100 trillion. That's more money than this country could earn in 1,000 years, okay? To do it
is
right.
not.
We don't like that building.
That's not even
close. The windows
close.
are too large. Oh, okay, let's rip it down and build a new one. What windows are you going to have? We're not going to have windows anymore. Environmental.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, they love wind too, right? The big windmill.
Marcy's doing her bit. Look at her. She's like, this is Marcy. It's not 50 islands. Marcy. She's awesome.
I always say, the greatest graveyard in the world.
Go back to what? Ozone layer? Did I miss something? I always miss something.
For birds.
Hold on.
You know, to do it the way they want would cost...
Hold on.
Sick to even think it, okay? Give me a break. Give me a break. And I guess under that theory, this big guy is next. He's nice.
Hi, producer Joanna.
No, it's a sick deal going out there.
Yeah.
You know, to do it the way they want would cost $100 trillion.
That-
That's more money than this country could earn in 1,000 years, okay? To do it right. We don't like that building. The windows are too large. Oh, okay, let's rip it down and build a new one. What windows are you going to have? We're not going to have windows anymore. Environmental. So it's, you know, they love wind too, right? The big windmills, I always say, the greatest graveyard in the world for birds, just walk under a windmill. You will see more dead birds than you will ever imagine. What's happening, including eagles. You know, in California, they put you in jail
I don't think it's a good idea to walk under windmills then.
if you shoot a bald eagle.
Especially if you're going to get cancer just for being there in the first place. Also bad. Here's the thing, though. They're not windmills. They're wind turbines. Windmills are something different. But they both go boom, 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 boom.
Right? You go to jail, right?
Here's the thing, at random. Nobody wants to see the chat. That's the thing.
These windmills are knocking them out of the sky.
Okay, this is for at random. Everybody, we got to stop everything. And we got, she wants me to move the Corona bowl. Okay, is that better at random? Oh, I can't see what you said. You know why? Because your chat's gone. So it didn't fix anything, did it, at random? This is better. Let's put it here. Put it here. We'll put it here. Okay, does that make you happy, at random? Then we'll do this. Put that there. There we go. Okay. Are you happy?
Guy all day long. It's unbelievable. And yet they want wind. And wind also is it's very hard to store the electricity from wind. So if you go
Is he doing a Kansas song?
home and you want to watch television because President Trump is on and you want to watch one of his very brilliant State of the Union addresses. If the wind isn't blowing, the husband looks at the wife and says, darling, I'm sorry, you can't watch tonight. The wind is not blowing. And she looks at him, I like the old days much better.
Nope.
But the rhetoric of Biden and the radical left puts your law enforcement in serious danger. Last weekend, 2 Los Angeles sheriff's deputies were ambushed and shot at point-blank range. And we have everybody looking for that creep that did it. And, you know, I called him an animal the other night. I said he's an animal. And we were challenged by some people on the left. He's not an animal. He's a human being. He's not a human being.
Oh, my God. Everybody hates the Corona Bowl. It's too flashy.
They got to find him. They got to find him. And penalty
There.
has to be
How
very
about that?
fast,
Is that
very
better
swift,
for everybody?
and very,
Is everybody
very
having a
severe.
seizure?
Can't do that. You know, we call for the death penalty if you kill a policeman. You know that, right? But the anti-police demonstrators, they cheered and cheered when they saw this, and then they tried to stop them from even getting into the hospital. As president, I'll always support the heroes of law enforcement, and I'll fight to ensure that criminals who murder police officers do indeed get the death penalty. You know, they want prisoners to vote, too. They wanted, I said, so what about, like, the Boston bomber? Remember Bernie Sanders? They want all prisoners to vote. And I said, does that mean everybody? Yes. So we sent in a question. Does that include the Boston bomber? Is he entitled to a vote? And even Bernie's going like, oh, man, let's get into a different question. It's not a good question. But we want to get that. We want to take care of it. If you look at all of the problems that we have, you look at crime, even somebody brought it up today. We're doing a great job relative to other countries on the coronavirus. You know,
there, that's not
names?
distracting.
We have like 22 different names. I call it the China virus. We're doing a great job. But if you want to really see a great job,
all right,
take
fine.
New York and some of these other Democrat-run states out of it.
Democratically.
You'll see numbers that are unbelievable. Because New York had a very, very hard time. A lot of bad things happened. But you take a few of the states out, and you'll really see numbers. But by comparison to other countries and by...
Oh, my God. This is just take...
Some of the boy, we've done such a great job, but you take a few of the states out, just take away the dead people, and the death rate looks so good. It really does. Take it. Oh yeah.
Almost all metrics, we've done an incredible job.
Once you get
including the
rid
job
of all
helping
those
the world with
corpses,
ventilators
the
and all of
metrics,
things that we've built.
and miles.
I think our task force has been incredible, and Mike Pence has done a great job. Biden opposes the death penalty for cop killers or mass murderers. Biden says he wants...
California has the largest population. They should have the most number of cases. And?
Wants to protect black lives, but...
That's a good point. If we take out all the red states, then Hillary is the president. Yep.
His radical platform will cut short the lives of thousands of African-American citizens. The Democrat Party's war on cops has already led to surging homicides in Democrat-controlled cities. Yet Biden supports imposing these failed policies nationwide. They ask him, what about nationwide? What about the fact that you just had your Democrat National Convention, where, by the way, we had far many more viewers, millions and millions more viewers.
They actually had lower ratings.
We had millions of more. I thought it was a great thing. Did anybody hear Herschel Walker that night? It was, well, you talk about a good football player. He was some player, and what a great guy. But all of them, everybody. First Lady did great.
CM, I hope there's not racism.
Great. Ivanka did great. They all did. They did great. We had some incredible stories, some very sad stories when you look and see what happened.
Wasn't he talking about the DNC?
But Biden's plan is to appease the domestic terrorists. My plan is to arrest the domestic terrorists. Joe Biden is a weak person. He's always been a weak person. And that was in prime time.
Yeah, it's the red states in the Midwest right now that are having a hard time.
Time was 25 years ago. And let me tell you, he's not old. I always defend him in this. I have friends that are 85, 89, 92, 95, and they're 100%. There's just something wrong with Joe. He's off, okay? He's off. And I have no problem saying it anymore when I watch the disinformation, because...
new cases were up again today, so yeah, we're still, yeah. Ugh.
This is not disinformation, this is fact.
14-day change in deaths is -1%. So deaths have come down by 1% in the last 2 weeks. That's better than up.
If he's elected, his radical supporters won't just be causing mayhem on the streets. They'll be running the Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Education, and most importantly, they will put many judges on the United States Supreme Court. We can't have that. We'll have a totally...
At random, you saw fake news. That's all there is to it. They've probably gone up 17% somewhere. They're up 17% off over July, so it just depends on where you take it from. They like to go back to April. They like to, and I have to look at I don't have the death chart in front of me.
Totally different country. Radical left judges. And that has to do with your Second Amendment. It has to do with right to life. It has to do with so many different things that will turn your world upside down. And they'll have 1, 2, 3, or 4. Whoever's the next president, hopefully that's going to be us, not me. Us. It's us. But you know, think of this. By the end of the term, we'll have approximately 300 brand new great federal judges, Court of Appeals judges, 300, which is a record.
He won't. He's just over 210 right now. There's no time to get the rest of those appointments. It's a lie.
300. Give or take a little tiny bit. But 300, yeah. Nobody thought that was possible.
Give or take 50.
Well, I want to thank President Obama. He left us 142 openings. Nobody gets left one opening. A federal judgeship is a big...
Because Mitch blocked everything. It wasn't 142, but it was more than... It was about 109.
deal. Nobody gets left any openings. He gave us 142
Yeah, Eve was here, Joanna.
openings.
Yeah, she's here.
Thank you very much. What happened? They thought Hillary was going to win. So they didn't push it, and then they said, wait a minute,
They didn't push it.
A little close at the end.
So this is interesting. I'm going to show you guys a map. This is a map of colleges. The red dots on the map are colleges with more than 100 cases. There you go. There's that map. Oh, and look at that. Didn't even show you the whole thing. Give me a second. I will fix that for you. For some reason, that's cropped. I don't want it to be. I will fix. God, this thing. I tell you, kids, this thing. There. Now, Don't. If you guys could see what I was doing right now. Okay. There we go. And let's bring it over here. Let's make it nice and big. Why? Why are you doing this? This thing, I tell you. Here. There. Now it's coming back. Stay tuned. No. Swear to God. Okay. There you go. There. Now you can see it. All those red dots have 100 cases. Plus. 100 plus cases. The not quite as bright red, 50 to 99 red cases. You know what? How about giving us, rather than giving us orange and red, how about giving us red and purple, or colors we can differentiate? Okay, well, I guess there was a point to that, but it doesn't really matter now.
And they tried like...
People are just going to send their kids back to college. And anytime we get people together, the COVID virus is going to spread. That's what happens. And we're not going to lock down because we're not smart like Israel.
Like hell to get some judges approved, but it didn't work. That's what happens. You got to go and you have to act fast. You got to get it done. Get it done, right? Like we get things done like nobody's ever gotten it done. Oh, he was a great president. He was great. He left 142 judges for the Republicans. He was a great president, right? If you're of that side of the plate, if you're of that ideology, and you had a president that left you 142 federal judgeships, I don't
No, that number since the pandemic began.
think you rate him as doing a good job. Hey, look at what happened in Iraq. Look at what happened with ISIS. Look at what happened with our military. Look at what happened with our vets. Our vets are better taken care of now than they've ever been in the history of our country. But never forget, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you, and that's true. That's true. And we're winning the fight, and we're winning this election. This election, we are doing well. They refuse to say it. They refuse to say it. They hate to say it. It just drives them crazy. But that night, remember? They started off by saying, this will be a very short evening for Donald Trump. That was Donald Trump in those days. You know, now it's President Trump. I lost all my friends because of this position. I had friends, hey, Don, let's go to dinner. Okay, good, Richard, I'll go. Hey, Don, let's go. Okay, Larry, I'll see you later. We'll meet you at a restaurant in New York. Everybody was like nice and loose. You could have a great conversation. You don't want to know what we talked about. It's just none of your business. But we were loose. All of a sudden, I become president of the United States. And these are I know a lot of important people. I know, actually, the people I like the best are the people that are less successful because it makes you feel so powerful. I always say it. Never go out with a successful person. You understand? No, but I know a lot of very successful people. Very, very successful. And now they call me up. Mr. President, sir, would you like to get together sometime? I say, loosen up. Yes, call me Donald. You've known me for 30 years. Call me Donald. Oh, thank you so much.
What
thank
happened?
you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. No, I lost all my friends because
What happened?
It's respect for the office, let's face it. It's
Oh, dear. How far do I go?
I had friends, hey, Don, let's go to dinner. Okay, good, Richard, I'll go.
Before that, what did I miss?
Hey, because I am fighting for you, and that's true. That's true. And we're winning the fight, and we're winning this election. This election, we are doing well. They refuse to say it. They refuse to say it. They hate to say it. It just drives them crazy. But that night, remember? They started off by saying, this will be a very short evening for Donald Trump. That was Donald Trump in those days. You know, now it's President Trump. I lost all my friends because of this position. I had friends, hey, Don, let's go to dinner. Okay, good, Richard, I'll go. Hey, Don, let's go. Okay, Larry, I'll see you later. We'll meet you at a restaurant in New York. Everybody was like nice and loose. You could have a great conversation.
Farther than this, Todd? Should I go back farther than this, guys? I don't know. Is this not... Okay, that's good. Yeah, thanks, Todd.
You don't want to know what we talked about. It's just none of your business. But we were loose. All of a sudden, I become president of the United States. And these are I know a lot of important people. I know, actually, the people I like the best are the people that are less successful because it makes you feel so powerful. I always say it. Never go out with a successful person. You understand? No, but I know a lot of very successful people.
What?
Very, very successful. And now they call me up. Mr. President, sir, would you like to get together sometime? I say, loosen up. Yes, call me Donald. You've known me for 30 years. Call me Donald. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. No, I lost all my friends because it's respect for the office. Let's face it. It's different. They used to be loose. They used to be great. You could sit back. I'm not a drinker, but you could sit back and have a drink. Whatever the hell you're drinking. And now you can't do that anymore. You can't do it anymore. So I have to rely on people in Congress to be my friends. And we just happened to have a couple tonight. And one of them who's been a great warrior, and he's doing a fantastic job.
And as my mother would say, well, then they weren't really your friends.
Saw you on television,
True.
by the way, Brian. Does everybody know Brian Style? Brian Style. Young, handsome, but a warrior. When the fake impeachment happened, it was a total fake. What do we finish up with the Republicans? 197 to nothing, right, in the House. It was a fake impeachment. I got impeached over a perfect phone call of congratulations.
It's like the Buffalo Bills saying, what did we score? What did we score in the Super Bowl? Combine the four of them. What did we score? 94. 94 over the course of 4 Super Bowls. That's what we scored. Perfect. Perfect. 94 over the course of 4. 26-1. That's right. 26. 26 in the first Super Bowl. That's how many we had. Bills forever.
Congratulations.
For those of you who aren't sports ball fans, Buffalo Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. They lost them all.
To the president.
Yes, Kevin Lee Brothers here. That is tell him, David. That's Kevin Lee Mother, is it not? That is Kevin Lee Mom. Well then they weren't really your friends.
Of Ukraine, who I never met before. Okay? I mean, if you're gonna do something, at least know him a little bit, right? I never met him. And then they said it was 8 times quid pro quo. That was Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, right? And he went before Congress, and he repeated my conversation, except that he made it all up. Remember, he repeated it. And then I said, fortunately, we had that whole thing.
This is it. This man is insane. The transcript was released before Schiff. Schiff was paraphrasing what the transcript said, but he keeps saying that Schiff made up the phone call, so he had to ha-ha, we got him. Ha-ha. He doesn't realize that we have a transcript that we released 2 days ago. Like, how could anybody vote for this man? That's all you have to know. Just, this is what he says. That doesn't go with the timeline. His brain doesn't work. And it makes no sense either. But of course, he's made this story up in his head. He probably believes it too. So that he's the winner here. He doesn't live in reality.
Essentially.
Thank you, Kevin Lee Brother. That is, I do. My best impression is when it comes right down to it, and this may be just because of who I am, is Senator Schumer. I don't like it. That's my best impression. Second best might be Kevin Lee Mum. David Riley Williams. David, you get in here. David, Kevin, get your brother.
They recorded. I'm glad I did. But these are very deceptive, deceiving, sick people. And I said, well, he lied because there was no quid pro quo. It was a perfect conversation. But by that time, it was too late because they had already embarrassed themselves by doing it. And Nancy Pelosi was all set. She loved doing it. From day one. But she thought it was what Schiff said. When she saw the conversation, she said to her people, what the hell did you get me into? So they could have dropped it, but they said, let's give it a shot.
He's just expanding the lie. Everybody saw the conversation before Schiff. Everybody saw it.
So we won, and other than Mitt Romney, well, we lost a half a vote, right? He's another beauty. Mitt Romney, he's a real beauty. He couldn't get elected dog catcher right now in Utah.
Well, he just got elected to the Senate in 2018, you know, when there was a blue wave.
So we have another great one, and he's really a friend of mine, and he's been solid. He loves his country, and he loves his state. Glenn Grothman. Glenn, thank you very much, Glenn. And a man who just got elected, and he's from an area that I know very well. We did very well. We got him a big, fat, beautiful contract that...
So what we had 4 kids. So what the parents would do, both parents would do this, and I don't know if this is, maybe some of you are not single children out there, only childs. They would, if they were frustrated about something, they would say, like, they would just keep saying parts of names until one of them seemed right. So it'd be like, David, get off the couch. Kevin, get your brother in here.
Produced lots of jobs, but he was taking a legend.
Anybody else's parents do that?
Place, so it's never easy to replace a legend. That's Duffy, in case anybody. And he was running, and we did a lot of work for him, and it was great, and he reacted very well under pressure. You know, a lot of people don't react well under pressure. They choke. They choke. He was under a lot of pressure, and he ended up winning by like 18 points. And now he's your congressman. He's doing a great job. You got to vote for all
Allison
these people
does it.
on November
How many
3rd.
kids do you have?
Tom,
Allison,
Tiffany.
1.
Thank you, Tom. And we have a great congressional candidate, Derek Van Orden. Where's Derek? Derek, good luck. I hear good things, Derek. Got my total support. I hear very good things. I can only support if I like. You know, our record's like 222-3. So I don't like to have a loss. And I support you 100%. You know that. You have my total endorsement, all right? I hear you're fantastic, right? And your former congressman, who I hope is making...
David, you're back up in Seattle. Say hi to your pugs for us. The pugs are big supporters of the broadcast. If you'd like to support the broadcast, go to kevinleefather.com. That's me. Technically, Kevin Lee Mother should be my wife. Technically, I don't have a wife. So she should be Kevin Lee Grandma. Kevin Lee Grammy. That's who she is. That's to everybody else. To me, she's Kevin Lee Mom because, you know, she's my mom. Was my mom. Stop it. But to everybody else, she's Kevin Lee Grammy. They called her Grammy. She was a showgirl. Actually, she was a Lutheran minister and an author. Pastoral care worker. She was a teacher. She started a kindergarten, the first kindergarten in Whitehorse. Anyway.
A lot of money in the private sector because he deserves
lot of
it,
money.
especially his wife, Rachel, deserves it. She's fantastic. He's fantastic because I know he's coming back into government in some form. He can come with us. He can stay here. He can maybe run for governor or maybe do something.
What are we doing? What is happening now?
Sean Duffy.
There's still 33 minutes left of this, meandering. He was introducing the politicians and went on for about a half an hour about some friend who wasn't his friend anymore, and then Pocahontas, and around we come again, and now we're talking about Sean Duffy. It was like a 20-minute segue.
No, but he was the world champion tree climber, and I love sports, right? Anytime you're the world champion at anything, but especially that. And I'll never forget, I was asking him about how was it?
CM told a story. My dad used to reach behind the seat, flailing to smack us when we fought on drives. Yeah, we were in a 1980s A-Team style van. So yeah, we figured out quickly he didn't have 8-foot-long arms. No, because you could just lean back. That's back when cars were big enough that you could just squeeze up against the window and you're fine. You wanted the seat directly behind Dad, so you could, let's see, your side, yeah, just like this. Just give it, yeah. Get deep, look, Laura, give your brother the. Who here had parents? Anyone? It's like the postings on Twitter. I posted one of those today, I think. Am I the only one who's sick of all these am I the only ones? Am I the only one who hasn't seen Game of Thrones? Am I the only one still wearing a mask? And then so many people, no, I'm also still wearing a mask. I wear a mask. Oh, I can't believe the people don't wear a mask. Oh my God. It's like, it's so cliche on Twitter. Get a live stream. You can do it there. Am I the only one who has parents? That's, I don't know who that is. Am I the only one who has parents? That's a little bit of Jimmy Stewart. Merry Christmas, traffic light. Merry Christmas, Mr. Chaps. Merry Christmas, Mrs. Lawrence. Merry Christmas, post office box. Oh, they're taking the post office box away. Why are you getting the I'm going to Washington. I will stop this.
He said, well, he broke his back numerous times. He broke a lot of bones. I said, let me ask you a question. How much harder was it to go up the tree than down?
For those of you too young, that was Jimmy Cagney and Lacey.
Down. He said it was easy going up. The hard part was coming down. Because
Hi, Rich.
If he missed.
He touched his
mic. That
mic.
was where the danger was, right? That was where the danger. But many times world champion. Could you still do it today?
Are any of us still paying any attention to Trump
said.
at this point?
Got to carry a little bit more weight. That's all right. That's not a good sign, though, right? Anyway, great job. We love having you, Rachel. Thank you very much. You are fan. Fox and Friends.
Is Rachel hot? Is that what's going on? Because he's mentioned Rachel about 84 times already, and now he's having conversations with her, which is unusual.
And plenty of other places. Right?
Let's find
what
Rachel.
A personality. What a personality Rachel has. She's been our friend from day one. I think from day one. And a fantastic
Rachel
family too.
Duffy.
Tonight we're also praying for everyone in the path of Hurricane Sally. We're out there working very hard. We are working in Florida.
Rachel's
Alabama,
hot. That's why he's talking to Rachel.
We have FEMA. We have everybody there. We just finished take a look. We just went to Louisiana, Texas. We're getting hit by some.
He was a little bit Seinfeldian. Jimmy Stewart Seinfeld. That's my impression of Seinfeld doing Jimmy Stewart. Why do people have Christmas? Why do people make runs on banks?
Big hurricanes, but we have it under control, really good. Our Coast Guard has been fantastic, by the way. Unbelievable, the bravery. They go into these storms. They say, how dangerous is it, sir? It's very dangerous. I say, all right. They said, he said, would you like to try it sometime? I say, Admiral, no thank you. I'll take a pass. I think they might.
I would pay $100 for him to go on the Rachel Maddow show. I will donate $100 to charity. That's what we should do. We should have a GoFundMe, and it'll be $1 million. We'll get to $1 million if he goes on and does an hour with Rachel Maddow. I think we'd get there. And the $1 million would go to charity. Not like the NRA, like an actual charity that everybody could agree on. What's a charity that the right and the left could both agree on? God, are we at that point? Are we? Wounded vets. Wounded vets. Wounded police officer. No, Rachel's into the vets. So, wounded vets. Where's this rally? This is Massena, Wisconsin. Massena, Wisconsin. Trump wins 50-0 if you love America. Okay.
I'd have a problem with me doing it, but I will tell you they are. You know, in Texas, they saved 16,000 people 2 years ago. The Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard. I think there's no brand, to me, that's gone up more than the U.S. Coast Guard. So.
Brand that's gone up? They're the fucking Coast Guard. They're not a brand. They're a branch of the armed forces. No brand. Please.
It's great. We're getting them new ships. Those ships are all coming, and nice new ones, all built in the USA, beautiful ones. Most of them have already arrived. My administration will be by their side through every step. We're working again very, very hard in the Panhandle. The Panhandle, we love the Panhandle. It got hit hard. We spent the last 4 years reversing the horrible damage Joe Biden
Okay, he's back on script.
inflicted over the last 47 years. We passed record tax cuts and regulation cuts. Nobody's ever done more than anybody else has ever done, to keep our family farms in the family.
That's not true at
We
all.
virtually eliminated the unfair estate tax, also known as the death tax. So if you die...
Virtually eliminated the unfair death tax. Now that's the one where, oh my God, you die and you have to give up the family farm because you're so rich. And at one point during those discussions, they tried to find a single family farm that had to be given up because of the death tax, the estate tax. Couldn't find one. As far as we know, that story has never actually happened. I'm sure it's happened once or twice out there that the family had to sell the farm. But here's the thing. If you have that much money and you're taxed, it's at that point, you've got enough money to keep the farm. You can figure things out. If you've got a big enough farm that's your issue, no, they couldn't find a family farm that sold. I'm sure there is one. I'm sure somewhere there's one or two, maybe five. But yeah, they killed the estate tax, which then, again, raised the deficit, which raised the debt, but we just don't care anymore because we're not Republicans.
In 100 years from now, and you have children that you love as opposed to children that you can't stand, is anybody here have children that they don't like or perhaps can't stand?
That's true. I have heard of the 50 Islands, and I know that because of the show Hawaii 50. And every week, they would go to another. It's like they had 2 weeks off a year. That was what Hawaiian police get, is you get 2 weeks off, which is standard in the United States. Now, if it was France, it would be called, like if Hawaii belonged to France, like before, because France, they used to own, because of their imperial pursuits, they owned Hawaii, and they had French Polynesia, which is because Hawaii is Polynesian, and Thailand was also part of France. But they eventually gave up on Thailand being French because it's just too bushy. Too much jungle going on there. So they're like, well, out of here, it's too much. And so they left. And if it was France, I forgot what it was going to be called. See, now this is where you guys can fill in the touchdown, the punchline. I set that up. That was a little backstory on Hawaii being taken over from France. And that sets you guys up for what Hawaii 5-0 would be called if Hawaii belonged to France. Go ahead.
Because if you do, don't listen to the rest of this. But if you have a family...
Okay, let's move on.
...that you love and you have a small business or farm or whatever...
Yeah.
They were being put out of business. They'd have to go and borrow the money to pay the estate tax, the death tax.
Never happened.
And it was a terrible thing.
Okay, Marcy says beignet 50. Okay. I think that's more of a Cajun thing than it is. Like, I don't know that the French actually have beignets. They may. Beignet, I don't know.
Got rid of it. So now you can leave.
It is blurry because I've got them zoomed in quite a bit.
Your farm, your small business, to your family. And just hope they remember you every once in a while. It's always a difficult situation, but it was ruining farms. They'd have to go out and sell the farm. They'd have to go out and get partnerships. They'd have to go out and borrow money from banks, and then all of a sudden they're in foreclosure proceedings, and they've never done that before. They don't have to worry about that anymore. If you love
God, I'd hate for them to have to deal with bankruptcies as farms. What's been going on in your term? Well, record bankruptcies? Well, at least it's not because of a tax after they're dead and probably don't care anymore. So that's good. That's good.
Love your family. That's a big deal. They've been trying to get that. Sean, for what, 30 years they've been trying to get that, right? Especially for the farmers, because it's that kind of a business. It's a great business, but it's day to day. You have a bad crop all of a sudden.
There's Ad Random with the fact check. Yes, I know the French settlers bought beignets to Louisiana, but they were stale by the time they got there.
you can't pay interest in a loan to pay estate tax, right? And they lose their farm, so we're not going to have that anymore. We achieved American energy.
Remember the massive applause? And how many of you got some of that government subsidy? How many of you got some of that socialism from China? China took the money and I gave it to you. $28 billion. How many of you got it? But Biden wants to rape your cows. What about that? I was so surprised. When it's just...
The independence for the first time. Totally independent. We don't have to be in those faraway places unless we want to be.
Freedom
Biden
nuggets.
pledged to abolish America.
I don't think beignets are really a thing in France. I don't think they are. Maybe in Quebec, because, you know, it was actually the Acadians who came down from Canada, got their asses kicked up there by the English, so they came down and they said, la.
American oil, American shale, clean coal, natural gas.
Yeah.
He said the fracking, I told you that, but we're not going to let them get away.
I'm so good with the puppies. Every day I do something else that the puppies pay attention to. And they're all good boys. They're such good boys. Let me talk to the dogs. Hey, dogs out there. Here, boy. Okay. Check it out. You know what your owners really love? Crawl into bed with them and put so that your breath is going, you breathe, like that, and then breathe directly into their mouths. They love that. Not all night long, but 4:30 in the morning. That's when you want to start that. That's the sweet spot.
We'll be bringing that up on occasion.
I know. Has anyone had beignets in Paris? That's what I'm asking. I don't know that it's a real thing. See, at random, even before I asked the question, you're coming out with that. You knew I was going to ask that. We were looking for punchlines, not for contrarianism.
For 47 years, Joe Biden crushed the dreams of Wisconsin workers and enriched foreign countries. That's what happened. Before I got here, what was happening with Japan, and we pay our deep respects to Prime Minister Abe of Japan, a great friend of all of ours, a great friend of mine.
Hirotoshi Takeda says that there are beignets in France. Okay, now I know.
He's going to be leaving office very soon, like in a matter of a day, and he was a great gentleman.
Get out. They have Homer Simpson donuts in Paris? See ya. Bonjour, mes amis. Je travaillais en les avions pour la France, Gay Paris. Mais, parce que je passeporte americanos, no habite.
He's a tough nigga.
They wouldn't let me in. Wait, they have Homer Simpson donuts in Orlando? At Universal Studios? They have a Voodoo Donuts at Universal Studios in Los Angeles now, which is, they have Voodoo Donuts. Those are from Portland. Are there any Homer Simpson donuts like in the United States, or is that just a French thing? We're never going to get through this, by the way. And I don't care anymore. I don't even check his tweets anymore. I'm so bored with Trump. Tabarnak, messieurs.
Negotiator, I'll tell you that. They made very good deals against the United States, but he's somebody that's going to be missed. He's a great gentleman. He championed every special interest, Biden, every...
Oh, no, yeah, no, the Homer Simpson, no, in the park itself, yes. Near the Simpsons area in Shelbyville. Wait, sorry, Springfield. Yeah, in Universal Sparks, yes. Homer Simpson, the giant red pink donuts, they've been there forever. But yeah, now there's a Voodoo Donuts. I don't know if there's a Voodoo Donuts at the other Universal in Florida. I drove to the airport and took les avions, the airplanes, Todd.
Special interest, and he sold out on trade. He sold out
Concorde.
Like almost nobody ever before.
That's why it was so quick.
Earlier this year, I kept my promise to American workers. when we
Yes,
ended the
there it
NAFTA
is.
nightmare
Yes,
and
there-
signed the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law.
You know, the other countries should just call it like the Canada-U.S. if you're in Canada or in Mexico, Mexico, Estados Unidos. What is Spanish for? I should know this. What are the United States?
I saved the U.S. auto industry by withdrawing from the last
Gay Paris 69.
administration's job-killing catastrophe, the Trans-Pacific.
That's as good a
Partnership.
punchline as
Yep.
any, Todd. So I'm going with that. Todd got the punchline. There was a different setup though. So
Over here, that beauty, that would have
Penny Lane is 925 pounds. Doesn't work with a meter.
really hit you.
Estados Unidos.
In 2017, I signed a historic executive order making government.
Oh, Twitter's almost caught up with us here, guys. So the Periscope chatters are almost up with the YouTube chatters. I don't know how that works, unless the YouTube chatters are being. That's my favorite thing now. Estados Unidos. That's what I'm ordering from now on, at any sushi restaurant. I don't care what kind of. I will order Estados Unidos.
Government policy.
Estados
to
Unidos,
buy
por favor.
American and hire American. You know, I'm watching this Biden, and he's got his sign in front, buy American. Oh, buy American. I've been saying it for like 20 years, right? Where the hell is...
Yeah, he did. That was his thing. That the Buy America thing, that was his thing in 2009 with the Recovery Act. You know, that whole economic recovery that started the economy that you take credit for? That was Buy American. You know who was against Buy American? Do you guys know who was against Buy American?
How has this guy been? They're actually accusing him of plagiarism. I also took the toughest ever action to stand up to China's rampant theft of Wisconsin jobs. And it's all jobs, but you got hit particularly hard. Biden's vowed to remove those tariffs and allow China to resume its pillaging. He wants to take the tariffs off that are paying us tens
No, they're not paying us anything, and we have a record trade deficit with China.
of billions of dollars a year. I fought like hell to keep him into the China deal, and he wants to remove them. So tens of billions of dollars, billions and billions. I gave it to the farmers. I gave it to a lot of people, but I gave most of it by far to the U.S. Treasury.
It was a Bill Clinton slogan, and it was a Reagan slogan before that. Many people have said, make America great again. That's nothing new, yeah.
He wants to take them off.
China.
Let me just ask you just a very
Okay.
innocent question. There's a young man about 4 years old up front. I think
Yeah.
you could give the answer. Who do you think would like to have China? How do you think China would feel about this election?
Who do you think would like to have China? How do you think China would feel about this election? 4-year-old? Your response? Oh, the child is crying. The child. So can we get the child out? Can we? Let's go back to that question again. I want to make sure that I'm not misunderstanding. Speaking English.
Innocent question. There's a young man about 4 years old up front.
What
I
is
think
the
he
question?
could give
Yeah.
the answer.
Go
Who
ahead.
do you think would
Who do
like
you
to
think
have China?
would like
How
to
do you
have
think
China?
China would feel about this?
How do you
election?
think China would
In
feel
one
about
case, they paid billions
Who do you
and
think would
billions
like to
of
have
dollars a
China?
month to the U.S. We never got, ever, 10 cents from China.
Oh,
In
he's
the
still
other
going.
case, he said, we're going to take them off. I think
Is this still the question? Are we still in the question part?
they might be inclined to go for Sleepy Joe.
I hate this house. That's true. We found the kid in the audience. Go back.
This is the answer. Who do you think would like to have China? How do you think China would feel about this election?
Where are
In
you
one
going?
case, they paid billions and billions of dollars a month to the U.S. We never got, ever, 10 cents from
10
China.
cents.
In the other case, he said, we're going to take them off. I think they might be inclined to go for Sleepy Joe. This is like a dream for China. Joe Biden's agenda is made in China.
Are we still in the question? Because I'm still waiting for the end of the innocent question.
My agenda is made in the USA. It's very simple.
That's a statement. What are we?
Farmers, we did so much, and I'm proud to announce that I'm doing even more to support Wisconsin farmers. Starting next week, my administration is committing an additional, you've been asking for this for a long time, $13 billion in relief to help farmers recover from the China virus, including Wisconsin's incredible dairy, cranberry, and ginseng farmers who got hurt badly. Been after that money for a long time. When the Wisconsin timber industry was threatened, I imposed tariffs on dumped foreign timber and subsidized products, saving
The kid is saying, I hate this house. I hate this house.
many, many timber jobs in your state. If Joe Biden gets in, the radical left will shut down Wisconsin's timber production for environmental reasons. You believe that? Ah, boy. It's so sad to see it, and that would happen, but we can't let that happen. We've come too far. We're so good. If that virus hadn't hit us, and it did, and it hit the whole world, but if it hadn't hit us, we would have numbers the likes of which nobody thought were even remotely possible. But it did. And we saved a lot of lives. You know, they keep saying, oh, they just, by the way, if we had 2 people die, they would have said he did a terrible job. If we had 100 people die, if we had 1,000, no matter what we do, we have trade deals. We announce a trade deal. Everybody's saying how great it is. Schumer and Pelosi see it. They have no idea what the deal is. We don't like the deal. Did you look at, oh, of course we looked at it. It doesn't have tariffs. Oh, no, it does have tariffs. They know nothing about the deal. Automatically, anything we...
Good night, Allison. Sorry if I was noisy there, guys. Yeah, I forgot to turn off my mic. So, as Kevin Lindaughter would say, fuck you all.
do, they just take the reverse. But you know what? I'd probably do it to them too, so I can't complain. On perhaps no issue have our opponents more thoroughly betrayed working families of all backgrounds than on the subject of immigration. Under my administration, we've achieved the most secure border in American history. We ended the...
Yeah, there's a new organization of former Trump aides and Pence aides, people who've worked in the administration who are now coming out against them and telling stories about them. So that should be good. They should have waited till October, but so be it.
Catch and release. You know what catch and release is? Yeah, catch them.
Catch them and you release them?
They may be a killer. They may be a criminal at the highest order. You take their name.
Criminals have
and
orders?
You're supposed to bring them to a court, like Perry Mason, right?
Criminal of the
but
highest
we
order.
actually catch them, take their name, release them, say, come back in about 4 years for your court case. We ended all this stuff. And you think that was easy? It wasn't easy, let me tell you. It was tough. But we have a really good, secure border, and the president of Mexico has been terrific. We right now have...
Hold on, the kids robbed you of Chex Mix? They, ma'am, are criminals of the highest order.
Have 27,000 soldiers from Mexico guarding our border, free of charge. We stopped asylum fraud, and we've deported 20,000 gang members and over 500,000 criminal illegal aliens of the worst kind. We're enforcing the clear requirement.
Are they of the highest order as well, or just the worst kind?
That newcomers to our country must be financially self-sufficient and not reliant on welfare. They have to sign a document. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, including major contracts to build new warships that help save the historic shipyard in Marinette. Okay, how about that? I was there 2 months ago. Marinette. So that's a great...
They're not sending their most infected people.
Great company, but it was having a hard time, and now they're building, what was that? Like $6 billion worth of ships, and they're beauties. They started already, and we worked very hard on that. We had a lot of help from your congressman on that one, because a lot of people wanted that contract. But we got it for Wisconsin. Remember that? We launched the first new branch of the United States.
Like, the president is not supposed to brag about getting contracts for specific states. I mean, unless it's a red state, and then that's fine. It get taken away from blue states. That's okay. Because really, the blue states, they don't count. They're not going to vote for him, so fuck the blue states. I'm going to send him a t-shirt that just says, fuck the blue states. See if he wears it.
States Armed Forces.
A pin. I'll get him a pin. A hat. Even better. A red hat that says, fuck the blue states. And then on this 45.
Nearly 75 years. That's right. The Space Force. You know, the fact is, and somebody said it on the other side, an opponent said, whether you like it or not, Trump actually did more as president than he promised during the campaign, like Space Force. That's a big deal. Think of it.
No, nobody said that. Does anybody have any evidence of anybody on the other side saying that?
Army, Navy, Air Force.
You'd think that would be okay to say that person's name? Well, like, why wouldn't you? If that happened, that would be all that they talked about. Remember, he had the congressman who switched sides. He had him in the office. He was at the RNC. He was at the State of the Union. He was the celebrity of a lifetime. But, yeah, no. Someone said that Trump's done more than anything from the Democrats, and he doesn't even mention the name.
Force, Marines, Coast Guard, right? Think of it. I mean, that's all you heard your whole life, right? The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard. And now we have the Space Force. You know what a big deal? First time in 75 years, it's a new one. Last one was 75 years ago, the Air Force, right? That's a big thing.
Right, and they're just a division of the Air Force. That's, like, we had it. We were already good with the whole space thing. The Air Force has been handling that, but okay.
I never talked about that on the campaign. I never even thought about it. When I became president, I said, we have to do this because I saw what Russia was doing and I saw what China was doing. And they've created their space forces. I said, what are we going to do, not have it? It's going to end up being maybe your most important, or certainly one of your most important, because that's where it's at. In terms
Space is
of
where it's at.
defense, in terms of offense.
Science is cool.
We passed.
Space is where it's at. On the Great Space Coaster, off we go. On the Great Space Coaster.
VA choice and VA accountability for our great veterans.
And
And we had the other day, veteran satisfaction, 91%, the highest score we've ever received. You ever notice, remember years ago, every story, every night, the nightly news, you'd always have horrible stories about the VA. You don't see it anymore. Now, I don't want to give them any ideas because they'll search all over the country for a vet who's unhappy. I'm hurting myself by telling this story. This is not a good story, but remember that every night you'd have these horror stories about the VA. You don't see it anymore. 91% approval rating. I kept my promise, recognized the cap.
Yeah, they signed that law in 2014, though. Yeah, the whole, the camera's off to the side, I think, is what the issue is, Todd.
Capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights.
I don't know who has the rights to it, but I would love to. I don't know. Was it a puppet? I can't remember. It was like a Muppet thing or whatever. I just remember, I'm Gary Gnu's, where no Gnu's is good Gnu's. Like, I'd like to do a Newsday update using a Gary Gnu puppet. I'm sure I would get my ass suit off because somebody owns that. Does it exist anymore? Does Great Space Coaster? Is it somewhere? Does anybody else know what I'm talking about? Am I the only one?
And we achieved the first breakthrough in the Middle East peace, and you saw that 2 days ago. UAE, Bahrain, Israel, nobody thought it was even possible. I saw John Kerry on television the other day. It is not possible. Then we waited a little while. He went very, very strong. It is not possible. And it was not only possible, we have many countries that are joining us very soon. We killed the founder and the leader, the vicious leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We killed him. And we also took out the world's #1 terrorist and the mass murder of American troops and many, many troops and many people all over the world. Qasem Soleimani is dead. He's dead. Bad guy. Bad guy.
I did check that. John Kerry was wrong when he said there would be no peace deal between the Israel and the other countries in 2016. You know, the other day. It was technically, it was another day. You had a half tap for that.
Very bad guy. We kept America out of new wars, and we're bringing our troops back home. No one has been more wrong more often than Sleepy Joe Biden. He voted for the Iraq War. He supported the defense sequester that gutted our military. For the Iraq more often than Sleepy Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He voted for the Iraq War. He supported the defense sequester.
He voted for her. That's Sleepy Joe. He voted for her. He sounds like you got trapped in a snowstorm. You've arrived at this little chalet hotel in the Alps somewhere. A St. Bernard has rescued you, and you're greeted at the door by the old man, the old Swiss man with some sort of stocking cap on and lederhosen, and he says, "You voted for her." That's what I hear.
That gutted our military.
For
the Iraq War. He supported the defense sequester that gutted our military.
Here it is. The door opens up. The door creaks open. The big wooden door with the giant brass handle swings, creaks open. There's the old man in the lederhosen, and he says,
I took over a military that was totally depleted.
What happened?
Like Hillary Clinton deleted, as opposed to depleted. She depleted them too. But she deleted 33,000.
I missed it. Now I'm just sad. Good night. What the hell? I'll stick it out. Hold on, let's do it. Let's do it. Are we going to do it? We're going to do it. Hold on. Okay, let's go back. For those of you just joining us, you're watching the wrong channel.
For the Iraq more often than Sleepy Joe Biden. He voted for the Iraq more often than Sleepy Joe Biden.
Big door handle, brass handle opens up, lederhosen, and
he voted for the Iraq.
There, it was worth it.
War. He supported the defense sequester that gutted our military. I took over a military that was totally depleted, like Hillary Clinton deleted, as opposed to depleted. She depleted them too. But she deleted 33,000 emails. When is somebody going to pull the string? Come on, fellas. No, that's terrible. 33,000 emails. Try going to court sometime on a civil case.
Yep.
And, you know, when you go before the judge, he'll say, did you delete those emails?
Those
Did
judges
you get
are
rid
angry.
of those texts? Did you this, right? They got, and now.
It would not be the judge saying that. It would be the other attorney, opposing counsel. That's how that would happen. The judges don't actually.
They caught Weissman and all these guys cleaning their phones because they were under investigation. And they cleaned their phones. How many were there? 21, but there were like 33 phones.
Hold on, I don't want my wife to catch that I'm cheating.
And yet, look what they do to General Flynn and some of these people that did nothing.
I just took Bumble off my phone.
They cleaned their criminals. Yeah, that's criminal. It's criminal. They're criminals.
Oh, no, hold on. I swiped left.
They talk and talk and talk. They're criminals. They cleaned their phones so you don't have any of the information. But that's a big problem for them, I would imagine. It's a disgrace that they can do it. But, you know, when you go back... But Hillary got rid of, she deleted, and acid washed, right?
No, not a thing. Nobody acid washed anything. It's called bleach bit, but acid washing is what you do with jeans.
Who acid washed? Did you ever ask? And she also used to bang him with a hammer. Remember that? We forget that, right? So let's see what happens with all of that stuff. I think Bill Barr's doing an excellent job, I have to tell you. And he's fighting a very bad establishment in Washington. There's some bad apples in that whole deal. But if you think that Biden opposed the mission to take out Osama bin Laden, he was against it. He opposed the killing of Soleimani. He oversaw the rise of ISIS. What a mistake.
Oversaw it,
and he cheered the rise of China as a very positive development for America and the world. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not been too positive.
It certainly helped our manufacturing.
If we're up to Sleepy Joe Biden, bin Laden and Soleimani would be alive. ISIS would still be on the rampage. And China would now be the dominant power in the world. And they're not. And they're not even close, I will tell you. We have weaponry the likes of which nobody's seen. You know, 2.5 trillion buys you some good stuff, especially when we have the finest scientific minds and military minds in the world.
Keep talking.
We have weapons the likes of which nobody's seen, and just hope to God we never have to use them. I say that, and I say it strongly. Hope that we never have to use them. My attitude was that, and I've learned this a long time ago, by having them, we keep ourselves out of war as opposed to bringing ourselves in war. But we have built and created weapons the likes of which this world has never seen before, and we don't have to talk about it too much, nor do I really want to talk about it. When I banned travel from China, Biden called it hysterical and xenophobic. He said he's xenophobic. What does that mean, Joe? Tell me. Biden also opposed my...
His supposition there is that Biden made up a word he didn't know, and it just happened to be the correct word to be used there. That he called him xenophobic, but didn't know what it meant. Why would he call you xenophobic? And then if he didn't know what it meant, who cares if he called it xenophobic? He doesn't even know what it means. It's the worst cell phone.
I plan to ban Europe. I saw what was happening in France and Spain and Italy and highly infected. We banned Europe. If we had insisted and listened to Joe and insisted on doing what so many other people said doing, which is you don't have to do the ban, hundreds of thousands of more Americans would have died from the plague. Biden was willing to sacrifice American lives on the altar of open borders. And now I hear him talking, he should have followed me. You know, this guy did the swine flu, right? It was a catastrophe. And the man that headed up the swine flu, I won't use his name because I'd like to have him have a nice evening because I can't imagine the Democrats at the...
Ron Klain, we all know who he is.
He said, it was a horrible job. We had no idea what we were doing. It was a disaster. He said it was a disaster. And now Biden's telling us how to do what we're doing so well on, what other countries are calling me and congratulating me on the...
No one is calling you. When they call you and congratulate you on things, they just want ventilators. Okay, we've done a good job with the ventilators because Biden left you, Biden, left you almost 17,000 ventilators, which you've admitted to publicly, even though the cupboards were bare.
Incredible job. And I got Sleepy Joe Biden trying to tell me how to do it. And his own man who headed it up, swine flu. It's H1N1 swine flu.
And he calls it N1H1. Yeah, we know.
Joe called it N1H1. I keep
Yeah.
saying, Joe, it's H1N1, right? I said, it's...
That's what you keep saying? Is that because he doesn't call it that anymore?
It's easy to remember because H comes before N.
Uh-huh.
But he can't do it. And then you saw what he said the other day under a Harris-Biden administration. That was a disaster. I never said under a Pence-Trump administration. He said under a Harris-Biden administration. And what made
Yeah, that would still be correct. That's fine.
it worse is she said the same thing. That was terrible, right? Sean, right? Did you hear that? They are a disaster together.
Ask Rachel if she heard it. I bet he's going to ask Rachel.
Through our historic relief programs, we saved more than 1 million Wisconsin jobs and 87,000 Wisconsin businesses. That's not too bad. And Biden would demolish all of those gains, and we've done similar things in other states. He would destroy your Social Security, totally destroy it, and destroy protections for pre-existing.
I don't know. I guess he believes for some reason that the president's name has to always go first. I don't know. All right.
Existing conditions. They want to go to social medicine. They want to go to social. You know that, right? You do know that. They want
Socialized.
social health care.
Socialized. And they don't, but socialized.
Where you don't. Remember Obama 28 times. You can keep your doctor. You can keep your plan. That didn't work out too well, right? Why haven't they looked into that one 28 times? Well, under Medicare for all, but it's basically socialized health care. You will never have your doctor. You will never have your plan. You'll have horrible health care. You're going to wait long times. And he wants to wipe out 180 million private health care plans that people love.
He does not. That's not part of the plan. Now, in Trump's plan, nope.
80 million plans. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to make it, you know. How do you
Oh, yay! Lizzie's getting rain in Oregon. That's good. That's fantastic news.
get elected? Let's say you're doing, not only here, let's say Texas, right? He's against oil, he's against God, and he's against guns. That's a tough combination in Texas.
Remember like a month ago when he said Biden's against God and everyone was like, oh my God, he said God, it's against God, Biden's against God, hey, he's against God for 2 minutes. And then moving on to the next thing, suddenly we gotta like, hey, let's do herd mentality. It's just, it's constant.
No, he's against religion. You know, they won't open in these blue states. They will not open your churches. They won't open them, and I think they have an ulterior motive. One thing they have is probably everything opens on November 4th. You understand?
They're going to get God? Is that what they're trying to do? They're angry at God because of you?
And they better be careful. Those paper ballots you talk about a bad thing. Just get out and vote. Get out and vote.
Paper ballots are a good thing. Just about everybody likes the whole paper ballot thing.
And if you have to go that route, make sure they have it counted.
Paper ballots?
And they know it's trouble. They just had another election today, fellas, where it's a disaster. The votes come in, they have no
with the paper ballots. We're upset about paper ballots now.
idea they can't count them. And I don't mean they're off by a little bit. They're off by 20%, 25%. There's fraud. There's missing ballots. They have a woman in New York who's a terrible congresswoman. You know that. Carolyn Maloney. They gave her an election. They can't even find the ballots. And they gave her a victory, and they can't find the guy that is against her, who did very well, even though
they have the ballots.
He's even more progressive. I don't even know what she is.
They extended it out because the Postal Service has done a terrible job because his guy, DeJoy, has been messing with the Postal Service, and so they had to allow extra time for the ballots to arrive. Zero evidence of any fraud. No evidence so far of any fraud. Certainly not widespread. Maybe somebody voted twice, maybe by mistake.
I've known her for 25 years. I don't think she's progressive. I think she's whatever she has to be. But this guy probably or possibly beat her. So rightfully, he's not too happy. And they call the election for her, and they can't find the ballots. Wants to force you to provide free health care to illegal aliens. Remember, he raised his hand. That will totally drain your wonderful Medicare. Remember the question up there? You're standing up. Who is willing to give free health care to illegal aliens? And everybody raises their hand like fast. Kamala was right up there. You know, by the way, that will destroy your country. You do know that, but because you can't afford it. And Biden's looking around. Oh, they all raised their hand. He goes, remember? I remember. I said, well, there goes the election for him.
Funny story. I was just lied to yesterday by the New York Elections Office. The Board of Elections in the city of New York lied to me yesterday. And I'm trying to decide, do I follow it up? Do I get the person in trouble? Possibly fired? Or have I got better things to do? But it's amazing the number of people who just assume that you're an idiot.
He'd end our travel bans on jihadist regions.
Basically, it was an email that I shouldn't have gotten that called helping customers a waste of time. You know, citizens, you know, the people you're actually supposed to be doing your job for. Waste of time.
And increased refugee admissions by over 700%. And that's the deal he made with Bernie Sanders. Opening the floodgates to terror.
I don't think an election happened today. I think in what happened today was in Michigan. There are ballots for the soldiers overseas that they can download and then vote. They print it out and they vote overseas. They send it in. But it's for, specifically, I believe, for military overseas Americans, citizens. And for 2 hours, the ballot listed not Pence, but it listed the Libertarian vice presidential candidate, I think. So it was Trump and Roberts or Jacobs or whoever it was. And it was on less than 400 ballots. None of them were sent anywhere. And if somebody downloaded it, so it was just Pence's name that was changed for another name, which for 2 hours. And then it was corrected. But that's, I think, what he might be talking about today, but I don't know anything else about it. But this is for military ballots. 400 of them for 2 hours online, none of which were sent. But, certainly Charlie Kirk went nuts about it. He said thousands of ballots sent out, but it...
afflicted nations. But I predict the Sanders people are going to vote for us like they did the last time. We had a tremendous, because they love my...
I don't know. No, I don't think it'll go viral because I don't have, when you look at me, honestly, people look at me and they go like, you're a white guy. What do you have to complain about? You got everything handed to you on a silver platter. Well, it's still wrong, for a sitting. No, I get no sympathy.
Stance on trade because
not internet wise. And anytime you post anything on the internet, and two more things. Anytime you post anything, like 47% of the people are going to hate you anyway and not be on your side, even though it makes no sense. I could say, look, I could be not white, and I could say they sent an email out and it said the N-word in there. And there would still be 42 to 47% of the people who were like, well, maybe you are one. Because this country is so divided. And the other thing is, do I really want to go public with something that's going to make the New York Elections Board look bad? I do not want to be a 5-minute story in a Trump election speech. So maybe I'll just keep a lid on it.
I know trade. And I was telling him much more so than even Bernie. But Bernie is right on that.
This broadcast is longer than the Trump presidency, David. I'm sure the speech itself is about 8 minutes long.
Subject that other countries, including our so-called allies, are ripping us off on trade. Biden opposes school choice and vowed to ban charter schools. Did you know that? Does everybody like charter schools? Everybody likes choice. In the second term, I will provide school choice to every parent in American world.
He was promising this in the first term as well.
Set up to get it done. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. It's really a vote for the American dream. Instead of letting Washington change us, and despite all that we've all gone through, we are changing Washington. That's what's been happening. And just in conclusion, and I hate concluding with you because I like you. I like you. I don't know why the hell I like Wisconsin, but for some reason.
I'm going to have to watch Overboard again, Eve. Oh, self-love.
You know what helps? So, as you know, for weeks before the election, she was 4 up.
7 minutes left.
4 up. I kept saying, do you think we're going to win? And I will say, Sean Duffy said, you're going to win. He actually said, don't worry about it, right, Sean? I said, Sean, do you think we're going to win here? I don't like these polls. We're 4 down. He said, sir, you're going to win so easy. And early in the night, they said, Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. And
Hero, he's able to watch TV on Air Force One, so he's able to do what he does. And plus, he'll take Air Force One to golf as well. So he's able to golf, watch TV, and do the rallies.
So when I'm here speaking in the freezing cold, I'm lucky. I said, do you think we have, it's very warm in New York and very warm in Washington. It was hot, actually.
What? He wasn't in New York. Boom, you got it wrong. Daddy Trump doesn't even know where he is. There it is, kids.
And I said, do you think we have a coat in the plane? They said, yes. I said, what's the temperature?
See if anyone
Sir,
picked up on that.
49 degrees. I said, how about giving me a coat? They have everything on Air Force One. That's the great thing. Got more televisions than any plane in history. They've got televisions in closets, on floors, on ceilings. But over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. We'll make our medical supplies right here in the United States and right here in the great state of Wisconsin. We will rapidly return to full employment. It's happening very fast. Soaring economies and the record prosperity will be even greater than it was last year. We will hire more police, increase penalties on assaults of law enforcement, surge federal prosecutors.
He was not in New York today.
Into high crime communities, and we will ban sanctuary cities, which are deadly. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe in enforcing the law, not their own political agenda. We will ensure equal justice for citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed. We will defend the dignity of work and the sanctity of life. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms.
That's Penny Lane.
We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep America out of endless foreign wars. And you remember with me, they thought because of my personality, they said, he'll be in war the first week. What happened to the war? Remember, we were going to be in war with North Korea. Hillary would have been in war with North Korea. It would have been a nasty one, too. But remember, everybody said I was going to be in war. Everybody said, oh, maybe I'll do something with Social Security, and I did. I saved it and made it stronger, and now I'm going to make it even stronger. And they're going to get rid of your Social Security because everything's going to come collapsing down. You will have a depression if he gets in. They're going to raise interest rates. They're going to raise your taxes. You will have a depression, the likes of which this country has never seen.
I've had a depression for almost 4 years now, so I don't know how much worse it's going to get.
Before, and your 401ks and your stocks and jobs will go down in flames.
Takeda, the Air Force One has TVs in the closets, apparently. That's what he said the other day.
I just say it here. Hopefully we're never going to experience it, but that's what's going to happen. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, which I've already signed, further reduce health insurance premiums. We will end surprise medical billing, require. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, which I've already. Medical billing, require price transparency, which I've already signed.
He says building, right? He says surprise medical building.
Further reduce health insurance premiums and the cost of prescription drugs, which are coming down now. You know, I signed favored nation clauses. The drug companies are not happy with me, I will tell you. They never thought it was possible. And rebate clauses. They never thought anybody would do that to them.
You know, like when you're driving along and you turn into the Arby's and it's like, oh, it's a hospital. Oh my God. Holy shit, I just about hit the ambulance. I hate that.
They made enough money for a long time. It's time you got a big break. We will strongly...
Yeah, tell us about the LRAD. Tell us about that weapon that makes it feel like your skin's on fire. Tell us about that. That's a new technology.
Protect Medicare and Social Security, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions.
I know, David, in the new building, it doesn't even have any windows.
Always, you have a pledge. We will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
You should say a woman. You should say make it a woman. Make it a woman. Let's. That's what I'm saying, guys. Men, we've had a lot of firsts. In terms of going to the moon, in terms of discovering new lands, men are always coming first. Am I right, ladies? What's up? How about we let a woman be the first one to walk on the moon? Let's settle that shit right here and right now, ladies. Start demanding that. I can't, because again, white guy, and they're like, why are you involved in this? You're just clinging, you're just trying to get laid. You're just clinging on. Stop being a clinger. You're not an ally. Seriously, ladies, start barking at this now. Because you guys, it takes a good 50 years to finally get that ERA taken care of. I mean, we took care of that, right? The ERA, it's constitutional amendment. We've got that settled now. Everything's good, right? I'm assuming. I mean, it's been like 50 years. No, Mars. There's already been guys on the moon. I'm talking about a lady being the first human being to set foot on Mars. I don't want to hear about any man setting. I don't want another Neil Armstrong. I want a Nell Armstrong. Is anyone still called Nell? I can't think of another name. Nancy? Nancy. I want Nancy Pelosi to be the first woman. Did I say moon? Yeah, women have to be the first on Mars. Did I not say that? Because that's funny if I didn't, because Trump once said that he was going to put a man on the face of the moon. So if in my rant I said that, that's ironic.
And NASA is now the hottest space center anywhere in the world. And
right, it's NASA, but they had grass coming through the cement.
When I took over 3.5 years ago, there was grass growing in the runways. You know that. It was closed down. It was a mess.
Grass.
We are now the hottest in the world. You see what's going up.
Uh-huh.
And we got a lot of rich guys sending them up, too. I like that better. I said, let them do it.
That's a program started in the Obama administration. I'm glad you like it, though. That's nice.
Rich guys like rockets. I don't know. They like rockets. Boom. I see dollars going right up.
Boom.
But they need a good place to launch. We have the best
That's
places.
a rocket. Boom.
We have the best places. So it's been incredible what we've done with NASA. We will stop the radical
again, Obama program.
Indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our...
I mean, you can see that, like, T minus 10, 9, 8, 7. Is that grass? Is that a little grass in the runway? Did you guys see? Did someone get... Abort! Boom. Everybody remembers that disaster.
Our schools, we're already doing it. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag.
The ones you're missing?
And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust."
The national model? Like Melania's?
Years you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the...
No, they do not. That's also a good point. They don't launch from the runways. They launch from launch pads.
The state of Wisconsin.
This is what, see, he was doing the countdown, and then he looked over there, like on the runway. I was looking, you guys can't see that side of the camera. That's the launch pad over there, right over here. And then over there, that is where the grass was on the runway. I don't feel that I'm painting a broad enough picture for you. I should work on that. Okay. He's got lederhosen, and he's wearing those clogs, those wooden clogs. Yes, I know he's in the Alps, but perhaps he had just come back from a vacation in the Netherlands and liked this particular set of footwear. And the door opens, and the man says, "In Vattenfall."
So get your friends, get your family, get your
There was grass in the ramparts.
Neighbors.
I had to go down the ramparts so slowly because it's so slippery. Because of the grass. There was grass growing out of the ramp.
Get your co-workers, get everybody, and get out and vote November 3rd. From Milwaukee to Madison, from Oshkosh to La Crosse, from Green Bay. How are the Packers doing so far? Good team, good people.
What? That is the least amount of response for how are the Packers doing in history. Are there 8 people there?
The Packers doing so far? Good team, good people.
They're okay.
To right here and give me the proper pronunciation.
Wow.
That's
Doesn't-
right. Thank you. Give me the proper pronunciation.
Doesn't know where he is. Remember the guy? Remember the guy? The guy who was like, Joe Biden doesn't know where he is because he said one time he was in Maine and he was in New Hampshire. And oh my God, that's a world of difference.
From Green Bay, how are the Packers doing so far? Good team, good people. To right here and give me the proper pronunciation.
Give me the proper
That's
pronunciation.
right. Thank you. That's what I said. We inherit the legacy of generations
And it's on the teleprompter?
of Wisconsin
Wait,
Patriots.
I was looking down. I was looking at the grass. Hold on.
That's right. Thank you. That's what I said.
That's
we
what I
inherit the
said. That's what I says. What is wrong with him? That's what I says.
Give me the proper pronunciation.
Is he reading that from the teleprompter? Yeah, so he starts by reading it from the teleprompter.
From Milwaukee to Madison, from Oshkosh to La Crosse, from Green Bay, how are the Packers doing so far? Good team, good people. To right here and give me the proper pronunciation. That's right. Thank you.
I don't even know the proper pronunciation of Mussini. I don't know. Could give me a signee, but I have no idea. But if I was going there, someone would tell me at some point.
That's what I said.
That's what I says.
We inherit the legacy.
It's a lot of times, if he makes a mistake like that, he'll come back with it.
Of Wisconsin patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears for this beloved nation. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, blazed the trails, settled a continent, tamed the wilderness, dug out the Panama Canal, laid down the railroads, revolutionized industry, won 2 world wars.
Yeah, everything is phonetic on the teleprompters for him.
Defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and you haven't seen anything yet. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country.
From
We
yourself?
are returning power to you.
Because you've been in power now for 4 years.
To the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning.
You guys are the best. I agree with CM. You guys are the best sport. How to say it? Muswini. That's what I says. You guys are the terrorists. Nation. Says it's our country.
We are one movement, one people, one
take it back.
family, and
Take
one
it back.
glorious nation under God.
Under God.
And together with the incredible people of Wisconsin, we will make America wealthy again.
We'll make it strong. Make it strong.
We will make America strong again.
Yeah. What is it but safe?
We will make America proud again.
It's proud, but it's safe though.
We will make America safe again.
Make
we will make America great again.
How do you pronounce it? How does it pronounce? Great. Again. That's what I says. That's.
Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you, Wisconsin. Safe. wow, that was the end. That was quick. The Trump feed does not play around. They're like, we're done. It's out of here. That was only 4 hours and 27 minutes of broadcasting there, kids. But the first 2 hours were just the chat room, so it doesn't really count. I am sweaty, though. I am sweaty. This is why I will be sleeping alone tonight in, how do you pronounce it? That's what I says. That was something. There's more to come. Let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow, kids. See what we got coming up. What's on the agenda? Here's some topics. Let's go to. I'll do my NPR right now. This is my NPR. On the president's public calendar tomorrow, we have him arriving at Joint Base Andrews at 12:10 a.m. He will departing Joint Base Andrews en route to the White House. What? The president arrives at the White House at 12:30. Oh, okay, so this is overnight. So he's going to get back at 12:30, which is now. And then he'll walk across the White House and he'll do the tired wave thing. We're almost at the house hating part. Hold on, Bev. Here, I'll just give it to you now because I love it.
Where are you going?
Always good. Always funny. So then he has tomorrow, he receives this intelligence briefing, which he often skips. And then he gets back on a plane. And where's he going? He's going to Bemidji, Minnesota. And is he going to do another delivers remarks at a Great America Comeback event? I bet that's what they're calling so they're not peaceful protests. They are comeback events. And I'm not sure if they're covered by the mask ordinances or not. And then he leaves Bemidji and he comes. So, yeah, we're doing another rally tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do that rally or not. That would be the rally tomorrow, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I don't know. Do you guys remember? Can't remember in 2012. I know Trump criticized him. I happen to have that, by the way. If anybody wants to see the COVID Super Spreader event, there it is right there. COVID Bowl 8 that you guys hated so much. But that's fine. I mean, you guys are the bosses. You guys are the ones. If you want to be part of the bosses, you can go to kevinleefather.com. That's where you can become a boss. You can become a producer of the show. And there's oftentimes they'll say, hey, guys, if there's a producer in the audience, tell me what to do. Does the ASMR work on this microphone? Can you guys hear me okay? If you can't hear me, say yes. And then I'll know. So tomorrow we'll see what happens. I got to capture some of this stuff, but the fact you stop it at random. See, at random helps support the show, and she tells me to stop stuff, and then I stop it. Like this Corona Bowl background, I'll stop that too. It should have stopped. Now it stopped. Delay on it. So you can't hear me, Lizzie, because that's what I said. I don't know. I'm after that rally. My brain is gone. So is my voice. How did you pronounce it? That's what I says. It's 100 degrees in New York, where I have not been in several weeks. He doesn't know where he is. But Biden doesn't know. Biden doesn't even know he's alive. Biden's confused. He doesn't know where he is. Well, I will be using that piece of video, that's for sure. From Green Bay, how are the Packers doing this year, huh? They're okay. How do you pronounce it? That's what I see. He's looking at the teleprompter. He can't even read it off of the teleprompter. He doesn't even say it after they've told him how. But he's going to be the next president. We don't do, apparently, yeah, I don't think that people like the ASMR. ASMR stands for something, and I don't know, and I don't care. I'll pay into Patreon if you never do ASMR again. You've got yourself a deal. People have strong feelings about ASMR. John Oliver did a piece on it, so you can look up ASMR on John Oliver. Go to the YouTubes where you are right now and just type in ASMR after we're done, and you will see a lot of strange things. Yeah, I know the Packers had one game, and Aaron Rodgers looked really good. What did he pass for? 4 touchdowns? And so did Mr. Russell Wilson. I hope I haven't ruined anything for anybody. So yeah, no people. But yeah, if you want to, when you become a patron, when you go to kevinleefather.com and become a patron, make sure to tell me specifically you're doing it because you don't want me to do ASMR anymore. And then I'll make sure to do it as much as possible. Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. That's what it's called. Thank you, Kevin Lee, brother. Got a threat on the Twitters today. I posted, I'll just show you what I posted. I can show you guys. I've taken my glasses off, but I think I can find it. I don't need my glasses because I'm not old, so I don't need readers. And I think I can oh, here we go. So I responded to KK Macaroni earlier today, yesterday, whenever it was. I don't know. And I said something. I posted as something from the live stream where she was playing Nancy in rotation. I have that. I'll just play that for you. I'll show you exactly what I posted because I can. And if I go to maybe Nancy? Yeah. So I posted this in response to something Kaylee posted. Yeah. And then I'll explain. Hold on. That's the whole thing. If you guys can hear that, I'm sorry. It's too loud. I don't have it. How did I post it if I don't have it? Maybe I have it on. Oh, I have it on my phone. Oh, you know what I can do is I can just show it to you. I wonder if I can show you the actual... Okay, so here's what happened. I posted this a video of the live stream where I played this.
Absolutely. This president will always put America first. He will always protect American citizens. We will not see diseases like the coronavirus come here.
Because she said every day the Democrats do something, Sleepy Joe does something, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, every day the White House trots out this airhead who said this, and she gets $185,000 taxpayer money every day and accuses other people of this during a time when 200,000 Americans have died. And so I played that clip, and a gentleman who on his profile called himself a hacker and anonymous and all this other stuff. Not anonymous because anonymous is cool. But he was a CIA agent and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you called her airhead, learn how to be polite, da-da-da-da-da. And then he put it like a veiled threat of, how's your PayPal doing? Or how's your PayPal balance or something like that. And for a second, I was like, oh, crap. Now I've got my PayPal triple protected. But I get stuff like that all the time. I get people trying to break my passwords. And everything is protected so that I have to get an email or a phone alert or a text or a code or whatever. Protect all your passwords, people. But I'll notice, like, especially sometimes if I block one of the people in here who's doing the Trump 2020 thing or whatever, I'll start getting inquiries into my Venmo and into my PayPal. And people will come after me. And I think, that's just a sign of I'm doing something right. If I'm upsetting those folks, I'm doing my job well done. Anyway, so I reported him to Twitter for making a threat. He had 14 followers, so sounded totally legit. 14, I mean, that is just about everybody else at the Internet Research Service. Andy, hi, we're leaving. We're done. Good night. Whoever said good night. Oh, it wasn't good night. It was good morning from Andy. I did report them, Lizzie, and that's the end of that story. And I think that's it for the night. So you guys be good and have fun. And all I know about this entire thing is...
Where are you going? Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?
Wait, what?